Cool. Right, hi there, guys. Welcome back to the Tribecast. I'm here with Jake, and I'm also here with Tommy today. Tommy is a coach that's currently based out in Dubai. I've known Tommy for years, and he is currently doing very well out in Dubai, helping people transform their physiques and their lifestyles and their lives, really. And he's a guy I've known for years, and someone that I've seen just absolutely become a monster as well in the last like 5 years. So say hi to the podcast, Tommy.
Hi guys, thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a bit surreal going back from that first time I met you in the Castle Place gym, the Leisure Centre gym in Trowbridge, probably about 10 years ago or so now. And I remember thinking like you were huge then, so and I was sort of just starting the whole gym thing. So yeah, it's pretty surreal to be here now.
I remember when you came in like the first time. I still remember. I was like, who the fuck is this like 6'5" absolute like giant of a man? I was thinking in my head, dude, if this guy gets bigger than me at that size, you're just gonna kill it inside of my industry anyway. And that's that, bro. So fair play. And what was your view of Castle Place back in the days? For those of you who don't know, it's a commercial gym. It's very much based for the OAPs. It was a good start, wasn't it? But it definitely was very entry level at the time.
Yeah, but it's better than some places. And I think when you first start, you kind of just think, oh, weight's weight, and you're not really clued up on the different machines and the brands of machines and stuff like that. So I was training there a few times, and it was at any time as well, which was classic. Remember the days in there, and it is like chest arms, maybe chuck legs in once a week. So yeah, very, very different back then. Seems a long time ago now.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And back in the day, I remember at the time, because we were chatting like here and there in Castle Place, you obviously have come a long way from where you were then to where you are now. And I remember back then you were more just kind of, in the gym, I think at the time, and correct me if I'm wrong here, mainly for just going on holiday and just looking good. And then it sort of progressed from there. So give us a little bit of an insight of like how that sort of happened and how did you get to where you are now?
Yeah. So back then, my main goals was football. And you sort of turn 18 and you feel like, I should get a little bit bigger as well. So I was kind of training for football, but also just to look a little bit better. And I was working at Ford in Trowbridge at the time then. So doing car sales. So yeah, that kind of rolled like that for a little while. And then I'd done my ACL twice in the space of 18 months. And that was when I really sort of locked into the gym a little bit more. And because I was focusing a bit more, I was getting a little bit bigger. I kind of tried going back to football a few times, wasn't happening on the knee. So started locking in a bit more, taking the nutrition a bit more serious, not going out every weekend. And like within 6 months of doing that, my physique changed quite a lot. And to the point of where some people, some friends and some random people like in the gym, that wasn't any time then, sort of started to ask for help. And that was when I was like, bloody hell, like what's going on here sort of thing. And then I started helping people for free a little bit, and then got a few like okay results, and it sort of spiraled from there. Then I was like, right, I need to actually do a PT course. I can actually sort of do something I love, and I kind of had it in my head. I was like, if I can make a little bit less than what I am doing the car sales, doing what I love, then that would be amazing. And yeah, to be sort of where I am now, thinking about then, it's absolutely wild. But I think working at like in the car sales and being around people and being able to talk to people, and I've always been quite a personable guy, that's definitely like sent me further quicker in this industry, because you can't be that coach that doesn't want to talk to people and be nice to people and listen to people, because you're never going to get anywhere otherwise. And I think you see people try and do it who've got incredible physiques, incredible genetics, incredible knowledge, but if you can't come across as that likable person and you actually look like you care about people, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, I completely agree on that. And it's hard as well, because it's a hard conversation to have, because I feel like sales, because I come from the sales background as well. I used to work for Comet Electricals and I worked for Body Power. and a body
Yeah.
power, we had to sell space. So you just had to learn how to be able to talk to people in sales and not come across salesy, even though you're in sales. And I think there's a huge element to carrying that over to being a PT. You can't go to people being like, oh, you've just got to be a salesman, but it's not that. It's kind of making sure you say the right things to not sound like a salesman, but also be a salesman to ultimately get someone on board with you if you know you're the right person to help them to get to where they want to be. So it's learning how to convince them that, like, actually, you've been stuck here for 5 years, and I could solve your problem in the next 3 to 6 months. So just sign up. And I think it's a valuable skill that obviously you kind of only really learn if you come from that sales background, or if you're around people that are currently doing it.
I think it allows you to feel more comfortable in that situation, whereas someone who might not have had that sales experience, they kind of feel like they're like, shit, I've got to try and sell this now. But the more you can just show the proof that you can do it and give them the solution to get from A to B, then the selling's kind of done for you, really, depending on who you're speaking to. But there's certain ways of managing it, isn't there, with different people? Everyone's different. People like to hold on to their money and not invest it in themselves, but they also spend it on a lot of crap. So you can frame it in different ways. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we've had multiple clients here as well. Like, there's a guy called Martin who I coach, who's a legend. He's like lost 60 pounds now, which is awesome. But when he jumped aboard, he was really apprehensive about the cost. And then about 2 months after, he went, Lewis, like, this was by far the best decision I made. And I was like, yeah, you've lost those weight. He was like, no, financially too, because now I'm not buying all the shit on the weekends. Now I'm not getting the meal deals and I'm meal prepping. I've actually sat down with my partner and we've saved money. So we started holiday. And you're like, you only really realize that after you've made that initial investment, and that first sort of like payment is always hard because no one likes to part with the cash. But once you do it, you're like, holy shit, like, this isn't that bad. This is actually really good financially. You know, so and on the subject as well of football, Jake is a massive football fan and is from a background of football, but he is.
We try not to bring it up too much because you just shut me down the whole time. Every single time I mention the word football, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go again. Yeah. How did you follow? Oh, Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal man.
God, I'm Tottenham.
Oh, brilliant. See, Lewis wouldn't have a clue what that means, because he has no idea about football. But I mean, we understand, so that's great.
We're basically enemies, Lewis.
Brilliant. I knew this podcast was going to go well.
I was going to ask you, actually, how did you find that transition between doing like a sport that you loved that was very like team involved to then going to obviously the gym, which is very individual in the sense of it's literally just you improving yourself? How did that feel?
It was hard to start with, like that sense of losing the competitiveness. And I played football for Hilperton with all of my friends. Like, the manager was my friend, everyone was friends, we all went out. So that kind of togetherness was all of a sudden lost. And I'd go watch the games and I hated it. I hated that I couldn't be on the pitch. So yeah, the more I kind of transitioned into the gym, I did kind of lose my purpose a little bit. So I kind of was like, right, I'm training a little bit more. I'm getting results, which is good. Then it sort of transitioned to the helping people. And then it was the first time when I started working at Falcon, and Falcon done absolutely amazing things for everything in my life, business, physique, everything. Like, Dean's like an older brother. But go into that gym, I started to see people competing, and I was like, fucking hell, if he can do it, I can do that. And I never thought in a million years that I would compete until I stepped foot in that gym. And like, as soon as I knew that I was doing that, it was like my purpose was back straight away. The purpose was still there as I got more and more into the gym. But as soon as I knew that I was going to compete again, something like just flicked a switch in my head. Like, I went from doing, I mean, like I say to my clients, if you can be 80 to 90% consistent, you will do very, very well. And aiming for 100 is not healthy. But so I would say I was probably at like 70%, but then I went to 90%. And I'm always a believer of like, don't let the gym take over. You need to have a life as well. Gym's not going to be there forever. and especially in like an off season, like you can enjoy yourself still. So yeah, that was when it probably took a good 3 years of that sort of like limbo mode before I sort of fully found my purpose again. And then yeah, since competing, I've never looked back.
It's a really weird stage, I think, when you first start the gym, that you become really obsessed with it to the point that it literally does take over your life, where you're in the gym for like 3 hours at a time. And then the more that you enjoy the gym is because you're spending less time at the gym. It's really weird.
That's
You're
so
in there for
true.
like
That's
an
so
hour,
true.
an hour and a half, and then you've got a good workout and all you've got to do is just eat. And then it's kind of like, oh, you know, out of the 168 hours of the week, the gym's taken up like 7. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird how they just go.
You start to understand that less is more, and the recovery is just as important. And the thing is as well, like you guys know, when you're in a gym and you work there, you need to program an extra half an hour for people talking to you. So it's you've got to be careful when you're working in the gym, PT in a gym, coaching in a gym, whether you're headphones on and you ignore people, which I just can't do. I'm just not that guy. But like some of my sessions that I planned for an hour and 10 used to turn into an hour and a half, 2 hours whilst you're training, catching people on the way in, on the way out and stuff like that. So, but I think that's part of the gym, isn't it? It's like that social side of it is another reason why we all do it. So yeah, you don't really want that to be taken away either.
Me and Jay were talking about this earlier, and I think we have like a really strong sense of community at Tribe, and it's sort of you go to the gym because your goal inherently to go to a gym is training, right? I don't think anybody goes to the gym initially anyway because they're like, I want some friends. They go because they want to change their physique, but as a byproduct of going to the gym, you meet like-minded people, and you end up having 100%. A community at the back of training. And then all of a sudden your friendship group is in the gym, and that's so beneficial to helping you achieve your goals, because now you're not going to the gym just for yourself. You're like, oh, well, Dan's going to be there, or Tim's going to be there. I'll catch up with them, and also they'll ask me where I am if I'm not there. So it's good for adherence, that community side as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, do you know what I found really useful as well and important throughout the whole kind of physique development process is having them people in the gym. It kind of actually told me that I don't just have to be with my friends who want to go out on the piss every weekend. And the minute I kind of realised that, and like I even till like last probably 2 years ago, I still probably went out once a month, but I made really good progress doing that. But when you're going out every weekend, it's so hard to make proper progress. You can still make progress, but if you want to actually be really, really good, like a lot of that work you done in the week is going to get undone if you're going out every weekend. So I think having that community in the gym where, like you say, like-minded people, and you're just focusing on your goals a little bit more, and then that transfers into your business and stuff like that as well.
I think as well, it's when people go out, it's not necessarily, I mean, the alcohol's bad, we know that. Obviously, inside the body, it has this huge detrimental effect on progression inside of the gym for like up to 3-4 days after, but it's also the choices you make whilst you're drunk the day after or hungover. Like, fuck, I can't eat chicken and rice, and I'm just gonna grab a kebab. Like on the way home, when you're fucking, you can barely put one foot in front of the other, you're not gonna make logical choices you're not gonna put your physique first, are you? in those moments. So ultimately, like you say, it's about doing it with balance. Like once a month, especially if you're in an off season or something like that, is absolutely fine. But I think when the problem is when it's every weekend, and then having those people in the gym that do not do that, they allow you to have that social circle where it's less just based around being drunk to have a good time. It's nice to have that. And especially, we've had conversations in this gym where we've taken people on board and they're like, well, I've got a drink if I'm going out. You're like, well, if you've got to be drunk to be around your friends, I feel like that's a friend problem more so than anything else,
Yeah, I've had that conversation a lot with clients for sure. Yeah, and I think when you're going into that gym, especially if you've got a training partner and they've not gone out and they're going to be on it, it's Monday, it's chest day, and you're like, fuck, I'm not going to do 3 plates on the Smith. I've been out. So it starts having that effect. And then you start to think, it flipped for me quite a few years ago now, and waking up fresh on a Sunday I enjoyed much, much more than being pissed for a few hours on a Saturday night. And that's when it sort of flips for me. And you start to think, well, I'm spending 300 quid to feel like crap for 3 days. What's the point? So yeah, it's a funny old way that things swing around.
Especially around the football scene as well. That must have been fucking difficult. Sorry to mention the word again. But yeah, that must have been tough.
All right.
Must have been
All you
tough.
guys can see is a lot of goosebumps on my skin right now every time you mention it.
Yeah, I think with the football side of things, it's like if you win a game and you're playing with your mates, like we used to say like, oh, if we win, we're we're going out tonight. Don't know. Oh, if we win, we have to go out. Or like we'd all put a bet on before the game, and if someone won, we'd go out with that money. It's just crazy.
Yeah, you get roped into it so easily. But I mean, we've had nights out before, Lewis, where we've not drank at all, and it's been, you know, a great fucking night. So it just goes to show that, if you need those kind of outside variables to have a good time, then you're not really having a good time, are you? You're not really having.
That's what I quite like about Dubai here, because it's normal to go to a beach club and not drink, and you're actually. It's hard to separate. A lot of people will talk about work when they're socialising here, which I actually enjoy, but you've got to be careful of the whole life revolves around it. Like, because my partner Amber, she does the same thing as well. And like some days we might work from 5 a.m. till 7 a.m. with a training session, 5 a.m. till 7 p.m. with training. Then you switch off and sit down for the evening, but then you're talking about coaching, you're talking about clients. And it's a similar kind of thing in Dubai. Like you're in the gym and you might start speaking to other coaches. You might be out for a dinner and you see there's a lot of people in the fitness space doing the same kind of things. But it's nice that when you're going out, and some people might drink, some not, but you just don't get judged at all if you're not drinking. Whereas in the UK, like you kind of just feel like you have to.
So I mean, speaking of Dubai, how much of an adjustment was it when you first went over there? Was it like, holy shit, everything is so new and different, or was it kind of like, oh, this is pretty the same? Like, what was it like?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on holiday here quite a few times, kind of test things out, and have friends over here already. But I feel like we did settle in quite fast as soon as we got in the property that we wanted to be in. So we kind of tried a few different areas like Marina, Palm, JVC, and then we ended up on a place called Emaar Beachfront, which is on Dubai Harbour, which is kind of like its own little community. It's kind of like a little village because it sort of goes out and then it's just kind of strip in the sea. So there's actually a lot of coaches here. Like the first few days of walking down here, I was like, shit, there's like 3 coaches I know from the UK, which is wild. But as soon as we got in this place, which was after about 2 months of being here, after trying a few places, I felt pretty settled then. And it was because we've got the dog as well, like on the marina, there's just people all the time. It's really busy. So we got settled. And as soon as we got settled, we started getting bombed. So, but that was massively took out of proportion by the media. So, like, it was quite scary the first couple of days, to the point of where they told us to like evacuate into the bunker of the car park. But it was like, honestly, it was not that bad at all, really.
Jesus Christ.
Did you find that when you were going through all of that, did your life have to stop that much, or was it all, because again, from us, we obviously are not in Dubai, so we were told that, you know, Dubai airport's being bombed, you know, everybody in Dubai is losing their jobs and so on and so forth. Did you have to take a step back with your career, or did you just crack on?
No, the complete opposite, to be fair. Went to the gym still all the time. The only time when it affected me was the alarms kept going off. So basically, if a missile was coming from Iran, there would be an alarm that would go off and it would basically say like take cover or whatever. But it was like, it got to the point where the alarms were going off, you'd be walking down the street and no one even looked at each other, like it got ignored. But for me, I was able to lock in a little bit more. I could get to the gym 5 minutes earlier because there's no traffic, because a lot of people left. I actually really enjoyed it. And it just didn't really affect me. I think like Amber, it affected her a little bit more probably for the first few days. I know a lot of girls who were here on their own who wanted to leave, and that's understandable. If I was on my own, it would have affected me a lot more, 100%. I will openly say that. but I didn't want to fly. Like I was more scared to fly than I was to be here. And at the end of the day, there was like 20,000 missiles or whatever, and like only a few got through. So you take your chances. You're probably still safer than being in the UK. So, I mean, yeah, but on that front, it didn't affect me at all. No, I was just cracking on. And to be fair, the first few days, I did find it hard to lock in when there was a missile that actually hit the building next door. I was in the other room, 8 a.m. on the laptop, just working. And it was like a firework, but times 10, it just went, and they had just put the glass in the windows because it's a new building next door, and I just heard it go ping. And I was like, fuck, that's an actual missile. That's a bit too close for home. So I've gone out on the balcony and...
Did that missile strike the building, or did it cause any damage, or was the damage bad?
So it was a missile that was... it had basically been turned off, and it had basically just slowly come down, which happened with a lot of them. So not one that had been intercepted, but it had kind of like gone off course or whatever. So it came in a lot slower than what it would have, but it was still very fast, but there wasn't an explosion. But there was a load of workers in the building next door. So I've gone out and they're all running down. It's just swarms of workers down the bottom. And I've gone down there. I thought, I'm going to take the dog out quickly, see what's going on here. And there's like police everywhere and everyone's going crazy. And it was, it was a wild time, but it was massively blew out of proportion by the media for sure.
It's such a British thing to want to be involved or figure out what's going on. Like we had a situation where a car was robbed in Trowbridge recently, and they were apprehended outside of our house. And Maddie was like, "There's a car chase going on outside of our house." I was like, "Yo, send me a photo." And then there's like about 8 people from where we live, and we're just walking their dogs at the same time. Like we always want to know what's going on, right? Such a British culture.
For sure. Yeah, like I got sent a thing about them. Was there someone with a machete at Longfield yesterday or the day before? We got sent that yesterday, and you just get instantly when it's like close to friends or family, you're like, well, you want to know what's going on, don't you?
Yeah, but I think like
that to be fair, my parents, that was one of the hardest things when I was here. My parents were getting worried, and obviously they were watching the news. Yeah. They watch the news a lot, which I tell them not to. So that was probably the hardest bit about it, actually. Like just knowing that my mum was like very, very worried.
Sure. I suppose the good thing is if you're close to her, I'd imagine you spoke to her a lot and calmed her down. And like you said, the media is the worst thing. If you let them know what's actually going on, and like you said, actually probably the UK is a lot worse on most days. The Dubai government is very hands-on with defence, aren't they? Like their defence was very, very good. The first evening, we were sat out on where the pool is. There's like a bit where everyone goes and watches the sunset, and we were just sat there with some other people in the building, and we were literally just watching these missiles going over, and we were kind of like, wow, they're not going to hit Dubai, are they? It's the safest place in the world. And at that point, we were kind of just like, what? Like it's not going to happen. Then later on, one actually hit the building opposite, the Fairmont, which is near, have you heard of the Aura pool, the Aura Sky pool? It's near there. And the smoke was coming all over, and it was touching the balcony. And at that point, that's when it started to get a little bit scary, because that was a very loud bang. And then through the night to the next coming weeks, there was a lot of loud bangs where they were getting intercepted. The dog was waking up, going nuts 3-4 times a night. So yeah, the sleep did get affected quite a bit, and the alarms kept going off, and it got to the point where I was like, Amber, I feel safe. We're putting our phones on airplane mode. I just want to sleep for 6 hours a night and be able to work. If one hits our building, it's very unlucky. Yeah, man, it's a crazy time, man. Crazy time. But luckily it's calmed down now, right? So you guys are able to fly. Obviously you're coming back in 2 weeks. How long has the airport been open now?
So I flew back in May for a couple of nights, and then I had a stag do in Portugal, and it was all fine then. Amber's mum come over, so that was nice. I surprised Amber that whilst I was away, her mum come here, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, it's kind of been off on, off on. It's still quite bad in like Kuwait and Abu Dhabi and stuff where the airport's getting shut a bit more. But yeah, it's been pretty chilled here for a while now.
Good, awesome, man. Well, I look forward to when you come back, because we spoke earlier. You said that when you come back, we'll get together in the gym and we'll do it in person.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
Yeah,
and
sounds good, mate.
Going back to the fitness side of things, then, obviously, I want to ask you some questions that a lot of the people that are watching in would get a lot of value from. So we actually had one question just a second ago. And what's your opinion on a dirty versus a clean bulk? If you had a client right now that, let's say, jumped on board with you, they need to put on a lot of muscle tissue and they want to look good on the beach and they want to potentially go into like men's physique or bodybuilding, how would you approach that? What would you put them in a bulk, dirty, clean? What would you do?
So first and foremost, I always want someone before they start a bulk to be below 15% body fat, ideally below 12, so you can stay sensitive, stay responsive for as long as possible. And you're gonna grow quicker, you're gonna grow more, you're gonna have a longer runway. Dirty bulk, I feel like it's a thing of a bit of a past, really. I've done it myself. And I actually find that every bulk now, I actually eat less good food and a lot less cheat meals. So I do feel like it's kind of needed, maybe, depending on how much food that person can kind of get in. But the way I like to do it is push the whole foods as much as possible. I do massively prefer high carbs and higher fats. I think on 90% of people, it works a lot better. They look better, they feel better. Some people get affected a bit more with that kind of food coma with carbs, but I myself definitely, I'm on 850 carb now and I feel great. So I kind of prefer to push the carbs up first and then the fats after if we need to. And I'll keep pushing up those whole foods as high as we kind of can, as long as we're staying sensitive. Progression in the gym is going to be the biggest driving point for me. The minute that kind of slows down or sleep slows down, and then once we've got those whole foods as high as they can, it's like, right, can we add in some lower volume foods, things like honey, DDX, maybe some olive oil, stuff like that. But with the kind of off-plan side of it, I feel like everyone's different. Some people, when they're growing, I've got them on one off-plan still. Some can have three. It depends how they feel after the off-plan, whether I know they're going to be stupid. Some people will literally go all out and now have like loads of dessert as well as like a large pizza and chip sort of thing. So it's kind of managing how that person can deal with it and whether they need it as well. Like some people need it because they want it with their families or they've got a couple of dinners out when they're at business meetings and stuff like that. So I would say it's different for everyone, but I do think dirty bulk is a thing of the past. You're going to grow more, you're going to look better, feel better, perform better if you're just eating a lot of good whole foods. But also if you've had a day, like I had a client yesterday where he was so busy with work, he only had 2 meals, he's on 4,000 calories. And he got to the end of the day. So today he had all his meals plus a big off-plan meal to kind of make up for it. So things like that as well, adapting as you kind of need to.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think there comes a point, I think you are completely right. You definitely need to be having more whole foods and to keep your insulin sensitivity up. Yeah. But at the same time to keep digestion in a good spot as well. And I found that when I started to introduce those off-plan meals, very similar to what you said there, and it resonated with me actually. Some people do take the piss a little bit. You give them an off-plan meal, you get those clients that are like, add a burger and chips. You're like, okay, cool, that's fine. But it's those ones that like, I had a large pizza, then I decided to have 8 cookies, then I had a whole tub of ice cream, then I had this and that and this and that. And they're like, oh, I'm not hungry the following day. And that's now got a knock-on effect with their appetite in the next 2 or 3 days. And you're like, there comes that fine line. You do work with some people that know how to have that off-plan meal correctly. And they're not using it as just a time to be completely wild with their diet. And they're actually choosing to make the right decisions because they understand they just need more calories. That's the reason why they're having it.
Yeah, for sure. I like to, when they, when they come to you and they're like, they say they've had that and they're like, oh, I'm in pain because I've ate so much and stuff. Like I like to kind of make a note of that on the calendar that we have, but also on like the kind of notes dashboard. And I literally like write on there, like, remember this date and the food. And I've done it myself. Like post prep, we've all done it. I remember in Cardiff, I ate so much food, I was thrown up out the car window. And I could barely see. I was in that much of a carb coma. And ever since that day, and I've done it a few times before, but never to that extent. Ever since that day, that really stuck with me now. And like, I just don't feel like I would do that again. Like, it's quite easy to just be satisfied and full. But also, when you're pushing food so high, like I'm just over 5,000 calories now. We've been reversing for about 9 weeks, so it's gone up pretty fast. And I'm already at my heaviest. I'm way leaner than when I was just below this weight last bulk. But I just don't really want the off-plan meals because you're eating so much good food. You'll fill up more. So I kind of have to, if I'm going to go out and eat out and I want to, like, if I know I'm having like a 3-course meal, then I'll probably drop 2 meals out for it.
Yeah.
Whereas before I would be like, no, I need all the food I need. So I just drop one meal out for it. So I think dropping 2 meals out, even when you're in that growth phase, is important. Unless like you're still very lean and you're struggling to put on weight, then you'd probably want to have it as well.
Definitely. I completely associate, and the crazy thing is what you just mentioned there of like eating so much that you said that you were throwing up out the window. And you remember when we spoke after my last prep at Falcon, because I was coming across there just the training, and I was at that point where I was eating so much, I felt so bloated and so miserable and so tired and lethargic. Like I'm sure you,
because you was actually doing a rebound, weren't you? Was you doing a rebound?
Yeah. Well, my coach at the time was like, you should do a rebound, and then that just ended up going really bad. And I'm sure
I feel like they're almost a thing of the past. They're dying out a little bit, the rebounds.
100%. Because I think if you're genetically very gifted, you can do a rebound very well. And I think that really depends on your rate of digestion as well. And for me personally, I just felt as soon as I finished that prep and started increasing food, I just started to feel worse and worse and worse. And I'm sure you were in that position as well, where you're eating so much that it's hard to keep your eyes open some days. You're like falling asleep, just like sat upright, and then you've got that almost like awake sleep apnea where you're breathing and you can kind of hear like that gurgling.
Everything's swollen. Your neck swells.
And once you've experienced that, and once you've been there and you've had all those nasty side effects that have been associated with just an abundant amount of food, you almost completely switch your mindset a little bit to like, I actually really don't like off-plan meals, because now I can associate those meals with how I'm feeling and how I felt in those moments. So for me, I will actively not have cravings for bad shit anymore, because I'm like, I just don't want to feel like that. I'd rather eat good stuff that allows me to keep my energy levels high. Because obviously running a gym and running and being a coach is like a 24/7 thing most days. You can't feel like that, because if you feel like that, your sessions are shit, your check-ins are rubbish. You know, the people around you are getting like 50% of the actual you, because you're just like sat in a chair just trying to keep your eyes awake. What is the point?
For sure.
So I think most people experience that to a smaller degree when they do a dirty bulk, and they probably get more benefit from their training output. And training output obviously plays a massive role in how much muscle you can actually gain if they just were to increase their calories from better food choices.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. Yeah, I think if you're eating the off-plan meals quite often as well, you don't necessarily realize that it's making you feel a little bit shitter, because you just get used to that feeling. But when you're eating clean food all the time now, like me and Amber's having the conversation the other day, a lot of my off-plan now is just sushi, because I feel great, it digests well, it tastes as good as having a takeaway or whatever, but it's not going to affect me at all the next day. And for me now, it is kind of, I do look at food a lot more as performance, and I want to be pushing for a pro card next year. So whenever I'm eating a meal, that's kind of in my brain, which some people probably think is a bit crazy, but like you start to look at food as fuel, not fun. So if I am having an off-plan meal, and it's something proper dirty, I'm thinking like, this could be, if I done this 5 times over the next 6 months, that could be that 1% that doesn't get me there.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Jake, you were going to say something there.
That's right. I don't know about you guys, but I find a prep so much easier than a bulk, than an off season, because I'm so good at not eating food, and then when you do your check-in, you're just leaner, and it's like, oh, sick, cool. I'm still eating like 5 times a day, but I'm not eating near enough as much food, and I'm just cutting out all the crap from my diet with like the off-plan meals and stuff like that, even like the less carbs and that, and then you're getting leaner each week, and you're like, holy shit, this is great. I love being hungry all the time. So. Yeah, it's good. And another thing as well that, like, you know, new clients, they just don't consider when they go on board with coaching is their digestion. Like, you'll have like the first couple of weeks and their tummy will just be like flatter. And it's like, yeah, because you've got way less GI distress and, you know, you've got way less digestive issues just because you're eating better food. And they go like, oh yeah, shit, I'm actually feeling great. And it's like, well, yeah, because you're eating the right food.
Yeah, they thought it was all belly fat when a lot of it is just literally extended gut. And there's so many coaches, like I get so many guys come on board and they're like, oh, what, you get me to rate my digestion? And they're like, and rating all these other things. And it's just like, what have you actually done before? Because digestion is a massive one. If you're not digesting food, like there's no point eating it. Definitely. But what you said about that, I feel like the sweet spot of prep is up that 16 weeks out to 6 weeks out, and I think Lewis would probably agree with me on this. It gets very hard at that point at 6 weeks out, but I feel like you kind of cruise in. That bit as well, you know, when you're big and you're at your off season, and you start to pull off that first initial bit of fat, and then you're like, shit, I'm small, and then you actually get lean, and then everything's popping that bit more. That's the kind of sweet spot. And then obviously you're trying to get that last bit off whilst holding that fullness, whilst holding that performance, sleep dips and all of that as well. Like that for me, if I could be in that stage all of the time, because where I'm at now, just over 5,000, I'm quite comfortable now, but I know the next couple of food increases, I'm going to be like, oh, it's getting a bit much now. I can feel it where it holds on my lower back is starting to get a little bit thicker. I'm quite lucky the front stays pretty lean all the time, but it's that different kind of level of sweet spots, I think.
Yeah, I made a post not too long ago about the kind of like skinny fat phase during prep, where like you said there, like hit it perfectly. You feel small, but you're not small. You just, that little bit of body fat is just making you not look as big.
Yeah,
and then that starts to come off.
You're glycogen depleted, aren't you, as well, because you've got less carbohydrates. So ultimately, you're not as pumped up from the gym sessions that you're doing. Which, when you're used to that level of pump, it's like, well, I'm training just as hard. Why the fuck do I not look as good?
I think it's how long it lasts as well. Like I had a conversation with Jake, my coach, the other day, and I was like, mate, you know when you walk out the gym and you feel pumped and massive? I feel like that 24 hours of the day right now. So I'm having like 850 carb and like everything's like bang on at the minute. Just moved to Muscle Hut gym as well, and like the kit is incredible. And you think, fuck, why weren't I training there before? Like just a few different bits of kit. But when you are in prep at the end, you cannot wait to get that feeling of that pump, and you know it's only going to last for maybe a couple of hours afterwards. And then you're like, shit, I've got to go through this another 22 hours to get back to this again. I just got to get through it until I get to that point. So it's
that pump you get after your show though, once you've been like, you've had your first off-plan meal in a while, and you finally had quite a lot of carbohydrates. And me and Mads went to London last time. I was like, Maddie, my biceps are getting bigger every 10 minutes. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you can visually see the growth, and it's a hard thing to explain to people that have never experienced it before as well.
Definitely. And when you actually get in the gym and you're using that food, like, it hurts. It really does hurt, but it's like a good hurt.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Trying to explain that to people as well, like, it's painful, but it's good pain. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing in your spare time? Go find yourself a more relaxed hobby, man. You know, but no, it's one of those things that we all hunt for. And going back to your journey as well in terms of men's physique. So you competed when you were here, when I was chatting to you in the gym. and
Yeah.
I think you were either in prep or you just finished the prep. And what was the outcome of your last show? Where are you heading? Obviously, you mentioned you want to get a pro card. What are you working on at the moment? What feedback did you get from that show, and where are you looking to improve on?
Yeah, so last year when I competed, so that was 2024. So that was my second season. We done the two-bro show comes second, and that was to Samson, who was first, who's a PCA pro.
Bro, I went against Samson as well. The fucking guy, dude, he just turns up all these amateur shows. That's literally who beat me too. What a wanker.
Yeah.
Would you like me to pull up the photo, Lewis? Would you like me to pull up the photo?
No, do not pull up the photo, dude. Like, that guy's back. He's like a fucking... Honestly, he could take flight with those guys.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually quite happy because I got compared with him a few times and I was like, what the fuck? So, like, I took that as a win on the day. Then we went and done Poland, which I wanted to just chuck myself in at the deep end into a pro qualifier, just to kind of say, look, right, if I had 18 months off, could I be close? And that was an eye-opener because the guys who were bigger than me I think I come 7th out of 9. The guys that were bigger than me come 7th and 8th. 8th and 9th. All the guys who were a little bit smaller but had better ratios, a bit tighter waist, they all got rewarded, which fair enough. They were like proper men's physique. And I stayed and watched the pro show there, and I've watched a few other pro shows, and I was like, from that point, I was like, right, I'm going to give it my all to try and get a pro card when I next compete. Then done PCA Hampshire, come second there before 2 years ago. Amber come second as well. So we both went back to win and we both won. Amber took the overall as well. I just missed out on it. So nearly had both swords on the day, which was a fucker, but it was still a really good day. And then I'd done Cardiff 2 bros the week after, which was annoying. I was the only one in my class. And then Landon won the overall. And he was good. There was me and another guy that I think wasn't a million miles away, but he went on to get pro card 2 weeks later. So then the plan for now, so it's right, we're going to go into another year off, big off season. So I'm probably going to start prep in January, so 6 months from now. We've done one off season, done a mini cut, dropped 30 pounds. We were 275 pounds, dropped 30 pounds. We're already in 10 weeks, 276 pounds, so 125 kilos. I'm the heaviest I've been. I'm leaner than last off season and the one before that. And the plans I want to compete in PCA. I want to try and get a PCA pro card before I go into 2 bros. So I want to do Germany, which is a pro qualifier for PCA. If I get a pro card there, then I can do Universe the week after and compete as a pro. Or if not, I can try and get a pro card again. And then I'm going to go from UK Universe to Ireland for a IFBB pro qualifier. And then Spain. So within that time, I'll go from Dubai to Germany. Then I can go back home and be there for 3 weeks whilst I'm doing the Universe and then doing Ireland and then go on to Spain. So it's 4 weeks and 4 shows on a row.
Very exciting, man. And with your physique as well, obviously for you, you're a big guy anyway, bro. Like you're big. So are you planning from a physique improvement standpoint from when you stood up there last time to where you want to be now? Is it more about just tightening up those weaker areas potentially, or is it just about coming in tighter and actually maybe coming in a little bit lighter and a little bit leaner? What are you looking to do, man?
So the biggest weakness is definitely posing. So all the judges have always said to me, you've got the size, you do not display it. So I've still not been practicing as much as I should do, but I've practiced a lot more than I do normally in an off season. I'm going to, as soon as I get back from this UK trip, I'm going to invest into posing coach again and have weekly sessions, which I've only ever done that in a prep before. So I'm going to do it 6 months ahead. So that is one of the biggest things. Coming away from the shows, you always get different kind of messages from different judges, but I think from men's physique side of it and what I've been told is like your lats can be bigger. Lats and delts are never going to be big enough in men's physique, really. So to keep hammering them, especially the side delts, the lats have grown loads. We've been doing back 5 days over 2 weeks. That's helped massively rather than doing 4 days over 2 weeks. the side delts were hitting the side delts a lot more because my rear delts are very, very overpowering. So just a bit more concentration on the side delts. Chest has come up a lot. Trying to really keep that midsection tight. So I'm measuring my waist all the time. It's smaller now than it was at 275 last time. So, and I've kind of managed to do that as I've gone on. So that's helping. Need to keep bringing up the legs still. I've always struggled to grow my legs, being tall with the ACL injuries, but just to make that waist look smaller, I need to keep growing my glutes and my legs as well. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of everything really. But I think I feel really good. I feel like I've grown a lot since the last time already, and we've still got like a whole nother off season.
From the sounds of it, you mentioned that some other guys around you were going off to be like PCA pros, and they were going off to like qualifiers and stuff. It kind of sounds like you were like, holy shit, I'm in the right place. Whereas a lot of people would be like, oh, I'm just not good enough. Like, I'm just never going to be good enough. Whereas you've had that like kind of like Uno reverse where you're like, no, I'm in the right place. I just need to get there. Do you think that's helped with like your authority with like clients and stuff that like might be a bit doubtful of the process, and you're just like, dude, look at me. Like, I started here in my first show, and now I'm working towards, like a PCA pro card. Do you reckon that's...
I think if anyone ever asked me about coaching, like getting into coaching, it's like, first and foremost, get in shape. You are a walking advertising board. There's too many people who aren't in shape trying to coach. And I think, if you can walk the walk and you can do the hard, I would never tell my client to do something I've not done. So if you've been to the extremes, then you can use that as well. But also, I think the biggest way you can actually sell your coaching is by showing your story as well. So like you just said, like where you've come from, and you can show that, like, if you can do half of what I do, you're going to get sort of 20% results of what I've got. And most people would be happy with that. So I think you've got to kind of walk the walk. There's a lot of coaches now, though, who are generally just very knowledgeable and used to compete, and they're so locked in with all the clients they've got and how many clients they have that maybe their physique drops a little bit. But I still have massive respect for them because they've kind of been there and got the t-shirt, or they've got the results with the clients. So kind of two ways of doing it. So some of the top coaches kind of like not fall out of love with bodybuilding. You just can't perform at that level if you've got X amount of clients and you want to still have a little bit of a life. So I don't know if you feel like if you come across that a little bit, Lewis.
Yeah, massively. I think with my coach Callum, obviously Callum, Callum Racetrick anyway.
Yeah. How long have you been with him now for?
Probably about a year, man. Just kind of working with him, just improving, which is great. And he's been more than just a coach. He's been like a really good business mentor as well. It's been multiple times where I'm like, yo, dude, I'm going through this thing with my business. He's like, right, hop on a call on Thursday. We'll have a chat about it. We've had like
that's class
hour long conversation. And he said about his journey, because obviously he doesn't compete. He doesn't have a pro card or anything like that. But he said that he had to walk the walk initially. He was a bodybuilder. He did it. He got very lean, and he got through his genetic potential, what he believes his genetic potential was. And he said, look, I just couldn't get a pro card. That's okay, because he was like, well, I'm still going to get a pro card, but I'm going to help other people get pro cards. That's my goal.
Yeah.
And he just grew his knowledge and just worked with as many people as he possibly could. And what he did was he took the discipline that he had with bodybuilding and just applied that directly over to work and just being the best possible coach. And I think for him, he's obviously flourished. Now he's got people like Niall, who's coming like third at the Olympia. He's got so many athletes that are doing really, really well. And he's a fantastic coach and very successful. And his one bit of advice for me was like, bro, stop trying to complicate it. Just be a better coach. Just keep doing the best you possibly can with the people that you're working with. And he again, prime example of someone that isn't necessarily doing the thing now, but still has walked the walk. So he can still tell people, look, even though I didn't get to the Olympia, I'm asking you to push through on your diet. And when he tells me to do that, I'm like, well, you've been there. So you understand how hard it is, and you did it, so I'll do it too. Whereas I think if someone was telling me to do that and they hadn't experienced it themselves, or have any evidence to show they've experienced it themselves, then I'm automatically less motivated. So you are completely right. You do need to walk the walk as a coach, or at least have walked the walk at some point to be able to associate with your clients.
Do you know what the annoying thing is? Is that all of the coaches that do not look like they've walked the walk get the most attention on social media because everyone's just in the comments being like, why would I take advice from you? That is the one annoying thing, is that the guys that have like been there, done that. I'm not blaming the system here. Sounds like I'm blaming the system, but I'm not blaming the system. But like, there are so many PTs out there that you just look at and you're like, I would never listen to you in a million years. You might be the most knowledgeable person ever, but I'm not getting that vibe. And me and Lewis talking about this the other day, like the amount of times I'm in the gym and then Lewis comes downstairs and I'm like, oh fuck, I've got to work my ass off now. Like I feel like I've been slacking, and then it's like, oh shit, I've got to train hard now. It's just it really does like boost your authority. I think for me as a younger coach, as a like hopefully upcoming coach, and like, you know, taking this on as a new career, like you guys are miles above me, and I'm like very, very happy to admit that, which is why it's so beneficial for me to, you know, carry on with bodybuilding and just show people like, look, it is doable. I did a YouTube video the other day, and the outro was literally like, if I can do this, from like me saying that, if I can compete, if I can get this lean or put on this muscle, then that must mean something. Because I always had that in the back of my mind, right? It's like, oh no, I'm just not, I wasn't born to do it, sort of thing. And then you do it, and then you're like, holy shit, it's incredible what you can achieve. So yeah, it definitely does, like, for you guys anyway, and I see it like boosts your authority like massively.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just the whole competing thing as well, it's like, I feel like once you've done that, you feel like you can do anything. And if you can live that regimented life and apply that to your work, and even when you're out off season, like you're in that routine, like I know I'm eating these 5 meals at this time, I'm doing this much work between that meal and that meal and that meal, I'm training at that time. And if you can build that regimented routine, you're going to get results in whatever you do in life.
Yeah, I completely vouch for that 100%. I had a guy literally come in last week, and he was like, how do you do the amount of work that you do? Because I think from an outside perspective, my work output is quite high, because I obviously wake up early and then go to bed quite late and work throughout the day. And I was like, it's not that bad, mate, because once you're on fuck all calories and you're doing like, I mean, I've been in preps that were really, really harsh, where I've done like 2 hours of cardio a day and had to weight train, and then you're like eating nothing but salad and nothing else, and your body is actively fighting you for energy. You still have to do everything, and that is way harder. So right now I'm actually quite comfortable which I think when you sort of experience something that hard, life becomes a lot easier off the back end of that.
For sure. And I think we're quite lucky. We like what we do as a career. Like, we love helping people, we love coaching people. So I feel like you never run out of energy for it. Like some days, like me and Amber, we'll have to tell each other to stop working. It's like 11 p.m. We're getting up at 5. I have to tell each other to stop. But you can just literally just keep going. So that obviously does help. I think that passion of bodybuilding does transfer into client. Like I've only had one client on stage, and the buzz you get from that, and even just like when you open a check-in, you're just like, fuck yes, like that buzz. To be fair, I actually wrote a post about it the other day. So that is better than scoring a goal, like what I used to crave when I come out of football. Seeing someone else's check-in just come through and they've done really well, or when they've got to that 12 weeks or 16-week transformation. So I think that pulls you through a lot of the, when you are struggling on prep, or when you're having a bad day, or when, like you say, you're working from 5 a.m. to whatever time.
Yeah, I think I just out of pure curiosity, when you had your client that went on stage, for me personally, I actually got way more satisfaction from taking a client to the stage than I did from competing myself. But equally, way more fucking stressful as well, by the way.
Yeah.
What is someone else's result? You're like, holy shit, when I compete, it's only really me that has to deal with the negative outcome. So I can deal with that. However, the idea of that outcome being placed on me for someone else's result from not going the direction they wanted really fucking put the pedal on the gas, bro. I lost hair. I was like sat in the fucking audience, like tapping my leg. Man, he's like, "You're right." I was like, "Don't fucking talk to me right now. I just need to be in my own mind." It's a crazy experience to go through. Did you feel the same?
Yeah, 100%. You feel like you're in control of where that person's come, and like for me, it's like that you've probably done some as well. It's their first time competing. You want them to enjoy it. You don't want them to get this kind of. There's a lot of people compete now, and they get that bad vibe, and then they talk down on bodybuilding. Like, it's not for everyone. So you want to try and not make that happen as well. So yeah, I was like proper emotional. It did get me really emotional, to be fair. And I'm not an emotional guy either. So yeah, it was really, really good.
I'm going to message my client Alex to say that we're not competing anymore this year because I want to keep my hair, Lewis. I want to keep my hair. I can't pull up the hat as well as you can.
He's by far one of the most. I always think that the most satisfaction you could ever get in life is by helping someone else achieve their goals, right? Because when you have played a part in that process, it is so. Like Tommy said, you just get quite emotional. Actually, you just fulfilled a bucket list thing off of someone's bucket list, and they can even just thinking about it. When I talk to my clients that are competing, I'm like, look, like Tommy said, it's either for you or it isn't for you. You might like it, or you might stand on stage and go, fuck it, I really didn't enjoy that, but at least you've done it. And at some point, when you're like 70, 80, and we're old, and we don't look the way that we do now, you'll have grandkids, and then you'll be able to go, look, this was your granddad or your grandma, and then they'll be like, what? No fucking way. You're like, yeah, it was me at one point. That's a really cool experience, you know. And I think it's just something that I think that most people should at least try once, just to be able to tick that box. And like we were speaking about there, just mainly for all the habits it teaches you. And you know, you might be one prep away from building a habit that potentially might completely change your life. You might just go to work and you're like, you unlock a whole new level of work ethic and you get that promotion you've been hunting for years. Or you might, for Jake, take the dive to go self-employed and pursue a career path because you're like, well, if I can do something that hard, well, this isn't that bad, surely. And then you go and find a career path that you're super passionate about and you really enjoy. So I think it does have lots of knock-on effects that positively impact life as long as you treat it in the right way. And I suppose the next question I wanted to ask you, Tommy, is how do you approach talking to your client that competes? And how do you, because we know this, and Jake, you know this too, you're not in control of the outcome of the show. You could turn up and you could win. And then you could turn up to another show the weekend after and come dead last, because you can't control who's going to turn up on the day. So ultimately, the goal is for all of us, right, is to get the best possible version of that individual on stage at that time. And trying to get that across to clients, being like, look, we all want to win. It's human nature to want to win. But at the same time, humble yourself, because you're not quite Ronnie Coleman yet. But at one point, Ronnie Coleman wasn't quite peak Ronnie Coleman either. And he had to lose a few times before he was who he is now and who he's remembered for. So how do you get that across to clients to keep their relationship with competing positive, but not take their motivation away?
Yeah, I think reframing it slightly. I mean, I've not actually had many clients on stage, to be fair, but I think reframing it in the sense of the worst thing you can do is start comparing who you're competing against. I see a lot of people doing that. So just focus on yourself, that you're getting better each week. You're going to beat the last time you stepped on stage. And if you can do that and just focus on yourself, because stress is massive at the end of the prep as well. If you're stressed, you will look like shit. So if you can eliminate whatever is stressing you out, focus on yourself, get better each day, keep practicing your posing, bring up your weaker areas in your off season. Even you can improve a lot in a couple of weeks or even a week by changing a few little things. So focusing on that, rather than focusing on what everyone else is doing. I think it's quite easy. We've all done it. You're like, oh, I'm competing against him in a few weeks. Fuck, he's looking good on Instagram. People look different. I've come up against guys where I think you look crap on Instagram. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's 3D in person. And then it's the other way around as well. So yeah, just focus on you, not others, and beat the last time you stepped on stage.
100%.
That's how you know you're with a good coach as well, right? Because sometimes as a coach, that's the hardest thing, is getting across to a client that you may be 5 years away from getting a pro card or maybe even getting your first win. But ultimately, if you've got photos, if you've competed in year one and competed in year two, and year two looks massively different to year one and you've improved massively, it is just about doing more of the thing, right? Doing exactly the same, working with the same person for long enough to get to the outcome. And I think a lot of people, there's this quote that I heard the other day, which was everybody doesn't appreciate someone when they're on their grind and they're pursuing what they're trying to pursue, but they'll only appreciate it, and they'll ask you why, and they'll normally put you down as well, but they'll only really appreciate it when you get there. And that process might be years long, but you've got to understand that that is a process that we've all been through, right? We've all been there, like, you know, in a prep, and everybody's like, why the fuck are you doing that, mate? And you're like, hold on, just wait another 10 weeks and then you'll see. And then, you know, they'll rip into you for that whole entire time. Why are you choosing to eat turkey mince when we're all out here having a meal at Nando's? Or why are you like doing your cardio instead of coming out with your mates? But then all of a sudden, when they get those stage photos, they're like, mate, fair fucking play, like awesome work, like well done. You're like, well, okay, cool, right? Now you can appreciate it. But when I was doing it, you were just shitting on it the whole time. But it's that delayed gratification, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think in bodybuilding as well, like you said earlier, it depends kind of who you come up against. You can almost be spoiled in bodybuilding where you might win your first 3 shows. And I've seen it as well. I watch people's YouTubes and like they've won their pro card, and then they get into the pro league and they're like 4th call out and they're like, holy shit. But even in like the amateur scene, like I remember my first time a show, like I just had it in my head, I have to win. And I did. And then the overall, I feel like I should have won. And even the head judge said that I should have won, but I don't know what the other judges were doing. But I'm happy that happened then on the second show or the overall on the day. Because if I'd won that overall then going into the next shows and the next show, because when I then come second, which wasn't the first time, it was a few weeks after, like that felt like a win. So it's very hard to actually understand what is a win. Like my first client I put on stage come 3rd out of 16. To me, that's better than coming 1st out of 5. It's the same kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of understanding what is a win. And it's you've got to look at how do you look that is the win ultimately.
It's super hard in a sport like bodybuilding as well, because you guys are footballers, so ultimately it's very linear to figure out who's going to win a match, like who scored more than the other team. You know, like ultimately it's a super easy linear. It's figures. This team scored more than this team. There you go. Whereas bodybuilding is all speculative, like we said earlier, and something you mentioned there. You know, a win, you could go on stage and you could win against 4 people, but it might be, and to be fair, in some cases, it might be the best of a bad bunch. Whereas, you know, for us, I'd rather stand on stage with 10 very good athletes and come 4th than come 1st out of 5. As long as I know the people that I am up against, I am fighting good individuals on stage.
And then you see it the other way where there's like 2 people on stage and like that person is doing a couple of regionals, you know they're close to getting a pro card. And the other person, it might be their first show. Like, that's hard. Like, you see ones like that and you just think, but that person's got to then sort of reframe it and sort of look who is up against and not kind of compare. So it's a dangerous sport on the mind, but you got to be, it will make you stronger minded.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's where it really does come in handy to have someone that has walked the walk, again, go back to what we said earlier, walk the walk themselves, to be able to relay that over to the client and be like, by the way, you know, you might not get the outcome that you want. You might want, there's nothing wrong with hunting a first. I think sometimes in my first show, especially, that was what drove me to do the cardio, because I was like, I've got to do everything I possibly can to get the win. But ultimately, at the same time, if it doesn't go the way you want, don't worry about it too much. You know, at the same, you just have to get the feedback, figure out where you lost, and if there's like a clear definitive, I mean, you could see it on photos really. If your lats aren't developed enough or whatever, okay, cool. There's nothing stopping you from coming back and being better next time. You just have to go and get to work on your lats, and then you'll come back and you'll be even better, and that's cool. You know, and it is. I was trying to get this across to my clients recently because there's that obviously that view from some people that see bodybuilding as a negative sport, so body focused, this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, actually, isn't everybody's goal in life to progress a little bit, especially in the later years, in your 30s and your 40s? There's more emphasis on building muscle when you're in your 40s and 50s for longevity purposes than ever. 100%. So for us in our sport, it's like, look, we're just looking to slowly improve our physique over time. And sure, there are people that take that aggressive route of using excessive amounts of PEDs, but if you're doing it right, then you'll be fine, and you're just looking to improve year on year. And as long as you have a good relationship with it, it's actually a very healthy sport, arguably one of the healthiest. So it's just, you just need to be in the right circle.
Yeah, I think as long as you're happy and you're enjoying it, then that's the main thing. But it's like anything in life. If you got to fail to get better. It's all a learning curve, isn't it? Same in business. You've got to try things that might not work. You might lose a bit of money, but it's all, you're constantly growing as a person. It's exactly the same thing, whatever you're kind of doing in life.
100%.
Definitely. That's one thing I wanted to touch on as well, is that like you've gone through so much graft and so much grind over so many months, and then you don't get the result you want. And again, there are one or two outcomes that you could have on the back end of that. You could be like, oh well, I'll just sack it off and give up today, or you could be like, cool, now I know what we need to work on, areas of improvement, and then we just push and go again. And I think that's the joys of bodybuilding, is that the only way, after you've done your show, you just get better. It's not like I don't know, it's not like football or other sports where like you are literally at a physical peak and like someone else is just better than you naturally. Like you can just get better and better and better, and it's all individual, really, isn't it? I think, not to toot your horn, Lewis, not to boost your ego, but I think that was one of the best things that I had with you, is that like on my show day, I don't think I could have been any more relaxed, because it was just like, I'm basically going to do what I do in the gym, which is pose, but just in front of more people. And then,
that's priceless to feel like that.
Yeah, but then, the closer we get, the more the nerves sort of like take over. But then again, it's, it's how you turn those nerves into something positive, which is, put a smile on your face and just show off to everyone what you've, been working your ass off for. But yeah, it's a good thing about bodybuilding, man, is that you just get better and better.
Tommy,
it can go so fast as well. Like you saying about the football, then it's not like, oh, I've got another match next week. You've done a 16-week prep or 20-week prep, or maybe longer for some females. Go on stage and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
You literally, sometimes you walk on and walk off, and when you walk out on your own, I don't know if you two ever have, and you're the only person, especially on a two bros, and you get 30 seconds. I'm like, for fuck's sake. I mean, you get to go in the overall then, but they're quick as well. It's just, you need to make sure you've got 2 or 3 shows at least in, and you're going to really focus on being in the moment on the day.
Document the shit out of it. Take as many pictures as possible.
Tommy, to give you a bit of an idea as well, when Jake went to go compete, we were sat out back, and we were sat in the backstage area at PCA, and we weren't even there. We were just near the backstage area, I think.
Which show was it?
Oh,
first time was in
Town Hall.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So we were there. We were sat out back, and me and Jake was just sat with his hoodie on, and we just sat against the wall. And he was like, I think we were chilling. We were just talking about something random. It was nothing to do with the show, and we were chilling. We'd already tested his peak. We already knew what he was having on the day. We knew exactly what he needed. And there were these people running around us. It was like coaches coming up to us. One coach came up to me and was like, mate, you got a Viagra? And I was like, no. And then he was like, all right, no worries, don't worry about it. And then he like ran off. And I was like, this is why we do it the way that we do it, bro. You can just see all these people.
I've seen those bits beyond stage. Yeah. I mean, I had it once actually for a Two Bros show when they told us to start pumping up, and they're like, you're going to be on in half an hour. Pumped up, took some, ride-ons? Do you ever have them, the HR Lab pump tablets? Took them.
I've heard of them. I've never tried them myself, no.
Yeah, they were good. Got pumped up, And then they're like, oh, it's going to be another hour. And I was like, shit. Everyone's in the same boat, so it doesn't, like, it's not that it's unfair, but that massively fucked with my head on that day. And I remember trying to send videos to Dean, and I was like, mate, what am I doing? The pump's going down. So that was a weird one.
Was Dean at most of your shows?
Yeah, that was the only one he wasn't at, because he was actually at Neil Curry's funeral.
I was being coached by
so
that when he passed away.
Was you?
Yeah,
Bless him, yeah.
It was
incredible physique.
I know, really nice guy as well, bro. Really nice guy. I actually spoke to him on the phone the night before it happened.
Fuck.
Yeah, man. It was it's a really weird phone call. It made me very, very, I've spoken to Jake about this multiple times, but it made me very aware of like men's mental health, because he rang me and we had, you obviously know how busy Neil was. Neil was just like this, like 2.3 million followers. And he rang me and at like 7 p.m. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, I'm obviously one of his coaching clients and stuff. And we had this like 45-minute chat. And he then went quiet at the end of the 45-minute chat. And I was like, Neil, are you all right? He was like, yeah, man, living the dream. You know how it is. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, where's your gym at? I said, Bath. I'd have to come down and do a session with you at some point. I was like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, dude, absolutely. I mean, for my gym, like having you in here would be fucking amazing. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, come down, you can stay in my spare room, whatever. And he was like, yeah, definitely. And then he went quiet again. And I was like, are you sure you're okay? He was like, yeah, all good. And then obviously the phone call ended. And then the next day, one of his clients was competing in Birmingham at Birmingham Town Hall. And he messaged me and said, have you heard from Neil? And I said, no. And he was meant to be at his show. And he wasn't there, and turns out that's when he decided to take his life, which is mega sad, because again, speaking to him the day before, you feel like you could have potentially changed it, even though you know you couldn't. It's just one of those things where you just got to check up on people, and just sometimes I wish now I would have said, look, get in your fucking car, come down to Bath, like we'll sort you out. But there's nothing you could do, which is a shame. And again, incredible physique.
Yeah, I've heard so many good things about him. I never met him, but everyone that I know has met him just says how nice he was. And like you say, he was busy but still had time for people, which some people that busy don't. So you got to give respect to that.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And he was sponsored by Hostile as well, with Fuad and all those guys. And you know, I'm pretty certain he pays people very well. He paid Neil very well. So he had like everything going for him, which is a shame that you just couldn't see that at the time, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, it's Dean's a lovely guy, man. I've obviously spoke to Dean at Falcon multiple times. I love how straight into the point Dean is as well. Yeah, he's just literally that guy who just say it how it is.
Yeah, 100%. You need people like that. To be fair, like I've gone a little bit more like that with some of my content now, because I feel like there's just so much crap out there, and it does resonate with people quite a lot. But then you can also get quite a lot of hate on the other side of that as well, but I think hate's good. So
yeah, how do you deal with the hate, bro? Out of curiosity, from me and Jake have obviously been on that side as well, where it's like sometimes you need to give the harder information out. How do you personally deal with the hate that you get online?
I mean, now I can just fully ignore it, but I think before I'd want to like almost comment back or even DM them and ask where they live. Especially like Amber used to get quite a lot of comments and stuff. But to be fair, we're both just so used to that now. And I'm just like, you're pushing my stuff out to other people, mate, so crack on.
It's kind of a superpower, really, isn't it? When someone gives you hate, because you can just be like, okay, yeah, cool, nice. Thank you for another view. It's going to pop up in everyone else's feed now, so that's great.
It's always the same. I don't know if you see my B-roll put up the other night. Like, it's always the same middle-aged man with no photo, sat at home on his own.
Yes.
Yes. Like, jealous, never, you know, them type of guys. Keyboard losers, I call them now, instead of keyboard warriors.
Yeah, it's funny because for us as well, the hard bit is disassociating from the fact that obviously the people that are hating on you are probably people that would never really vibe with your content anyway. So actually, it doesn't make a difference to you, your business, or who you are, whether or not they like it or they dislike it. But it's understanding that in the moment when they're saying something really harsh. And like you said, reminding yourself, this is a person with an Instagram account with one dog photo and nothing else. So yeah, at the end of the day,
you've got that much time to do that. You don't want to work with them anyway.
Exactly. And did you, out of curiosity as well, did you find it hard with the amount of coaches that are out in Dubai now? Because it is a hot spot for coaches to go to.
Yeah.
Did you find it hard to get clients against just the sheer volume of other coaches out there or not?
So I mean, 90% of my clients are still from the UK and still come from the UK. I do a few one-to-one clients here, which are pretty good. It's a different type of client here, I would say. A lot of people are CEOs, business owners. They're working that kind of like fast-paced life. People want stuff fast. They want fast results. So the one-to-one side of it, I've got like 3 one-to-one clients that do either like 3, 4 or 5 days a week. I've got a few online clients from Dubai. I wouldn't say it's not really changed that much, to be fair. If anything, here. So, like in the UK, you might be in the gym, right? Someone sees you as a coach and they think, oh, he looks good. And then they'll message you on Instagram later. In Dubai, that doesn't happen. They'll come straight up to you and ask exactly what they want there and then, and you'll get to work with them. It's like that. It's very, there's no fucking around. There's
not a bad thing then. Sounds like very linear.
It is good. It is good. But like you say, there is a hell of a lot of coaches here. And I was in a gym called Train SF for a bit because I had a couple of clients in there. And it's filled with PTs and filled with a lot of shit ones. You might have seen some of my reels talking about them. They just go on their phone, set their client off on a load of lunges. They're sat there like this. So bad. And then it got even busier when Banús burnt down. So Banús is next door. So I actually signed up to Banús 2 days before the fire. I rewrote my whole training program after one session in there, drove there on the Tuesday morning, and I was like, where the fuck's it gone? So yeah, that ruined that. I was excited to get in there. Then everyone moved over to training. It just got so busy in there. There's so many PTs, all the PTs from Banús. There's been a couple of fights in there, which is really weird for Dubai, just for people people won't share kit. You've got people lining up for kit or sharing with like 4 guys. So I had to pull myself out of there because I couldn't do any of my sessions in the order I wanted to. It was getting annoying training clients. So I moved over to Muscle Hut, which is the same as the Muscle Huts in the UK, the same kind of brand. And that's so good in there. It's nice and quiet. It's all prime Nautilus, Atlantis, old school Cybex. It's the best kit. And it's a nice vibe of like, there's some English people in there. There are loads of other countries as well. I was chatting to a Spanish Classic Pro the other day. There's a bit more. The other gym was a bit more lifestyle, although it had like Atlantis, hammer strength and stuff. It was a bit more of like in between a bodybuilding gym in the UK and a David Lloyd, and in between that, whereas Muscle Hut is like a pure bodybuilding gym. But yeah, I just keep pushing for the UK really. Like that's where the base of my clients are. That's where I come from. That's people resonate with me there. And even the guys here that I've got, only one of them's not from the UK. So, but I mean, when you come here, you're like, it feels like it's 60% of the people here are UK. There's actually only 10% of locals here now. So it's literally all expats. Apparently, there's more Arabs in London than there is in Dubai. I don't know if that's true, but a lot of people say that. But yeah, it's when you're in the gyms, you do see quite a lot of different nationalities and people, different training styles and stuff as well. I think the UK, a lot of people do kind of have the same idea on training and nutrition and stuff. So you see a few different things that not really seen. Like see massive guys literally smashing their sets so fast, like the reps, and I'm like, how does that work? Like Ronnie Coleman style, but even faster. I guess it's genetics and stuff, but yeah, it's definitely been a bit of an eye opener with the gyms and the coaching and stuff. There is so many coaches here.
Yeah.
Speaking of like the gyms and like clients and stuff like that, what are the goals like going forward? Is it just to get more and more clients? Is it to have your own gym out there? Like what's the goal moving forward?
So I just want to keep growing the amount of clients. I'm at this point now where I'm actually training my brother to be a coach, because I could probably take on another 10 clients to still do everything that I'm doing at the level that I want to do it. You've got to kind of start delegating some things out where you can. So I'm kind of in a process of that at the minute. So training him up. So he's trained with me before. I'm coaching him as well. So he kind of knows how I work. I think that's the best way you can kind of train someone up, is actually coach them, so they can see how you work and how you would apply yourself to a client. Because it does scare me a little bit having like someone working under your brand and not giving it as much as you would, which is why I knew my brother kind of talked about it before. And then some people say like don't mix family and stuff, but I know that he would give it his all rather than bringing someone else in. So yeah, I just want to keep adding more clients, but make sure I kind of look at it now as like not the client number. How many transformations can I push out a month? How many results can I get a month? And I think I've enjoyed it more thinking of it like that as well, rather than just like, right, I'm going to add 5 clients this month and one might leave. Like July's tough. I always have a few clients leave in July. You've got them ready for their holiday, or they know they're kind of holiday and partying, or they're spending a lot of money in the summer, so they can't afford it. So July is quite a tough month. But it's been way better than where I was like last July. So yeah, that's the kind of goals. I just want freedom as well, like to be able to kind of move wherever I want to move and be able to travel. That's sort of a big part of it as well.
I think going back to you talking about, coaching your brother up to be a coach, dude, fucking getting a PT qualification, like you could get some random guy off the street and throw him into an assessment and he'd be able to do it. Like when I did mine, it was kind of like, am I really like what? I've trained at Tribe for so long and I've picked up so many cues from Lewis, and you can mention all of those in your assessment, but they literally could not care. They do not care. They want you and out, and they want to just tick you off and then you're done. And it's I think being able to work alongside a coach, like I do with Lewis, like your brother does with you, I think you just learn so much more, especially with you being around Falcon. You've got Dean, you just pick up stuff without even realizing it, that you can then implement with your clients. Stuff that like definitely. A PT qualification would have never taught you. So I think the approach that you've got with you and your brother, I think that's way more
experience. Experience is everything. Like being around Dean for them years at Falcon, like I learned so much, and even just how to like manage being a pro, going to the Olympia whilst running a gym, stuff like that as well. And he's had like his issues with injuries and back and stuff like that. So you can't. If someone's doing it when they're going through like that much pain and they're still at the top level and they've still got a gym performing as it is, it just kind of like you can't have any excuses.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But boys, listen, as a PT qualification holder from all of us, can you not tell me you haven't had to sit down with a client at one point and tell them where the brachialis connects into the bone? I've had to do that multiple times. Like, bro, I completely agree with what you both have just said. Absolutely. I think I would not be the coach who I am now if I did not choose to sign up with coaching with James, who was my first ever coach. And I think part of it as well is learning the actual product. Yeah? And I had to sit down with a guy who is a very high level like business owner who I currently coach, and he was like, you've literally got the thing. Like the thing's the hardest thing to develop. Like for years, like companies spend years in product development and trying to figure out the thing that they can retail out. For us, we have the thing. We know what we do works. Like ultimately, if people choose to jump on board with us, we get the results with those clients. They get to where they want to be. They are happy, they are fulfilled, and they have learned a lot along that process to be able to maintain it for the rest of their lives. you know what you can charge, but we only know that because we've done it with other people ourselves. And so if we've got the thing, then it's super easy to be able to then go, okay, cool, I'm going to charge this much because this is how much it costs. Whereas I think if you're kind of flying blind and you haven't had that experience, you're like, well, what's a weekly check-in? What's involved in a weekly check-in? How do I approach giving feedback? How do I approach giving the harder feedback? How do I approach giving good feedback? Do I need to go to my clients' shows? Like, how do you do a prep? There's so many variables that you would not learn from your PT course that you only really learn from working with someone that's been in the industry for like 10 years and actually has real experience of working with actual people, you know. And half the people in the PT qualifications that divvy out the PT qualifications have not got that many clients themselves. And you're like, how can you tell me whether or not I can do my job if you can't really even do yours that well yet? You know, it's it is a really hard industry. I do think that the barrier of entry should be a lot harder for
100%.
our industry, and I think it would whittle out a lot of the nonsense that you see online, because ultimately if there was a harder exam, a harder qualification to get, you wouldn't see so many personal trainers, and then obviously the people that do have the qualifications would ultimately be people that you should listen to.
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to hold that level of information, but what I've kind of noticed now is when you're actually putting that content across, or even if you're in a PT session, or even if you've got a lifestyle client who's never done it before, you almost have to actually dumb down a lot of what you're saying. Because if you start saying all the long words and you start saying all the science behind the nutrition, they have no idea, and that's going to go in one ear and out the other. So if you want to hit like a broader kind of audience, you do need to dumb a lot of things down. Otherwise, they'll switch off to it straight away because they have no idea what these words mean. So I've actually found that quite a lot recently. And when you're just in that kind of bodybuilding zone, sometimes depends what you're trying to attract. Like 90% of my clients are lifestyle clients, so I kind of have to be dumbing it down a lot more than if we were speaking to someone who's going to compete. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's that like flip side of it depends. Like you said, you literally hit the nail on the head, because I was going to jump in and say the exact same thing. If you are planning to attract more lifestyle clients, then absolutely. If you're trying to maybe attract more of the competitive athlete that has been in the gym for like 5 or 6 years, you probably need to go above and beyond a little bit more and a little bit more educational with your content. But me and Jake have spoken about this before. With that style of content, you're probably not going to get the likes that you want on Instagram. But in reality, I think a lot of us as coaches, we hunt for views, we hunt for likes, we hunt for engagement. Yeah. When in reality, you actually only, like you said, you only need 10 new clients. So you just need 10 likes to come from people that genuinely appreciate the content that you are putting out and want to jump on board with you to get their results. So when you put it in that perspective, you're like, I actually only need 10 likes. As long as the content's right and it's actually hitting the right people. So it's that's who you're trying to target, you know?
Yeah, that's a massive thing that I've learned probably over the last 6 months. Is I get way less likes and views of what I used to get, even though I've got a lot more followers. But every single consultation call I jump on, every single person who DMs me, shit, your content really resonated with me. Shit, that video was so good. This, that. So it doesn't matter, because the client numbers are going up and it's hitting the people that I want to hit. So a lot of people will look at it being like, what's that? What's that twat on about? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many likes you get, as long as your business is moving in the right direction. There's quite a few coaches that I know that are doing mega bucks, like 500 clients. They get 1,000 views, even though they got 50,000, 100,000 followers. So it really, the virality will pull people in, but it'll pull in the wrong people as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's eyes at the end of the day. It's eyes and social proof. And are you hitting, it's as basic as, are you hitting those pain points? And, someone on your feed is going to go, holy shit, like you said, I really resonate with that. This guy can help me out. Let's hop on a call, sort of thing. So, yeah. And we kind of, definitely. We had that. I mean, we had this really weird stage, and I'd say like every other month, maybe with like myself and Lewis and the other coaches here, where we're kind of like, in a bit of a rut when it comes to content. And it's like, oh shit, you know, what are we posting now? What's trending? The algorithm's always changing, and like Instagram's always like up and down here and there. When it's like, people just like people. So just be you on social media. You know, don't try and put this like facade on that you're some, you know, Greek mythical god. Like, you're a coach, you can solve a problem. Just put that on there.
Yeah. Do your social proof. Ever since I went from posting 1 transformation a week to 3 transformations a week, my business doubled. And then also talking about what my clients are struggling with, or what that personal consultation call struggled with, and sort of niching into that a little bit more, rather than like the broad things like, oh, that guy's done that video, I'll reframe that a little bit. Like, it's not you. And if you come across forced and not being yourself, that will come across to other people as well, which there's so many coaches copying everyone now. I think especially with AI now as well, if you can be more authentic, I've started doing just a lot of raw talking head. If I think of something, I just film it and post it. So if you can have that rawness nowadays, whereas before people be like, why are you putting that out? That's not edited smoothly enough. Like, it really doesn't matter anymore. And like, volume to a degree is going to beat luck as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know whether you guys have seen that video of, there's a boatload of coaches that are doing that good client, bad client, point A to point B, like, and then it's like normally a girl with a felt tip marker and a whiteboard. She'll be like, here's what a good client will do.
Oh
yeah. With her mouth and like spit out the pen top. And
quite
someone
rough
did like
talking.
Hey,
quite rough talking.
Yeah,
they swear quite a lot. Yeah. I can't remember their names.
Yeah, but someone literally did a video where he grabbed all of the coaches that are copying the same format and just did a compilation of them spitting out the top of their felt tip pen onto the floor. And then this guy was like, can we not just get a little bit more originality inside of this industry, please? And I do think there was a thing that I saw online saying that if you go viral and you're from like the UK or an English speaking country and you're an English speaking coach, right? If you go viral, that's actually a really bad thing, because only something like, I think it's like 25% of the world can actually speak English, which means that your reach, if it's in most other countries, most of those people can't speak English anyway, which means your content is being liked by people not off the back of you sharing any good information. They can just watch a video and be like, they probably liked it, but they would never work with you in the first place because you couldn't communicate with them. So like at the end of the day, like, you don't want those millions of likes. You don't want those hundreds of thousands of likes. You need, like we said earlier, the 10. And you need to be speaking to the people that are currently on your client roster who love your content and it keeps them motivated, but also other people that would join that client roster that ultimately would really appreciate working with you because they vibe with your content and it is who you are. So as soon as they jump on board, they vibe with you straight away, versus if you're trying, like you said, be a fake person. As soon as they jump on board, people will figure out that you are being fake pretty quick, because you'll do your, if you're like, yeah, man, I'm a fucking alpha male and I've got my Bugatti Veyron and all this sort of stuff. And like, I believe I'm like the biggest alpha in the room all the time. And then you do your first client check-in. Hi, mate. Yeah, great. You're like, that's not the guy they signed up with. So ultimately, they're going to leave. So, you just got to make sure you are who you are in person online.
People will latch onto a story as well, don't they? Tommy, like you said, with issues that your clients go through, people want to hear how you respond to that and how you problem solve. And people just love stories. Like, they'll love your story as an individual, how you've developed in the gym as an athlete and also as a coach. And then they'll latch onto client stories because like there's so much relatable stuff now in the world. Like, what my client deals with on a daily basis is what 20 other people might deal with on a daily basis. And if I've got the answer to that, there you go. There's 20 people that are satisfied with your service. So it's just like, people love stories, people love authenticity, and this like slop that we see on a daily, because we see it on a daily, we laugh at it, but then we forget about it in 5 minutes. So I bet you the amount of people that go on TikTok and then you say to them like, can you remember the last 3 videos or the last 5 videos that you just watched? And they'll be like, I have no idea. It's just because it's like, it's just slop. It's just slop. But people latch onto a story and they love it.
Yeah, that's why, like, you can repost stuff as well that you posted. If you had something do okay a few months ago, repost it. No one's going to remember that you reposted it. And it's just a bit more bit more volume there. But going on that storytelling, that's actually, so one of my goals for next month is whatever bit of content I have, can I relate that to something in my past or one of my clients' past, and then frame it as that when you're talking about it. And that will, it's kind of social proof, but without putting a transformation up, rather than kind of just waffling about this. You do this carb cycle and it does this. You know what I mean? Actually relate it to how it's affected someone.
Yeah, that's actually extremely useful for someone like myself. I mean, I've been doing this for 7 months, Lewis.
Yeah, about
so
that.
Unfortunately, I haven't got the vast variety of transformations that you guys do. So I'm gonna hold on to that. Cheers, mate.
I think.
I'll tell you a trick for social proof.
Go for it.
So for every transformation, there's 7 pieces of social proof I can create. So you've got your normal transformation. I call it my social proof blueprint. Your normal transformation, you can get them to do a testimonial video. You can have their new photo with the review they've give you, a Google review or a Trustpilot review. You can make a reel of their weekly check-ins as their physique changes. You can do a green screen where you put their transformation on screen and then you talk about their journey. I'm trying to remember what the other ones are now. But anyway, that's 5. And then when you create that, so when that transformation comes in, so like I had one yesterday. So I've created those 5 pieces, and one of them is going to go out each month of that person. So they're not close together; they're kind of spread out. And if you can do that for every time you have a client transformation come in, all of a sudden you can post 3 social proofs a week instead of 1.
I feel like I was getting like a business mentorship. Then
I'm pretty sure I just had my Apple Pay go off.
I call this the Tommy Blueprint. I was like, oh shit, here comes the PDF, dude.
It's an easy trick, which a lot of people do. If you are struggling for transformations, or you go through like that month where like no one's in a car. Like no one really wants to have a look at, so-and-so put on 20 kilos of like, no one resonates with that. And that really frustrates me because a lot of my clients do come to me who are skinny and just want to put on muscle. But the transformations just don't come across as a strong social proof.
It's a really hard thing when someone's in an off season to get people that are not knowledged up about the process to really appreciate how much effort that 10 pounds of tissue is actually taken to go onto someone's physique. Because it's not like, again, with the cuts, it's an immediate gratification pretty much. In a short pace of 12 weeks, you pretty much almost got a different person. But when it's a gaining phase, and I don't know, Tommy, I'm sure you were the same, right? But for me, when I first started going to the gym, I was like, bulking sucks, but I understand I'm doing it because I want to get bigger. And I'm just happy with being in the suck for as long as possible until I get to where I want to be. And I think that's more admirable because I'm not looking for that immediate, I just want to get ready for a holiday. I'm like, I'm not looking at this year's holiday. I'm looking at the holiday when I'm like 20 and I'm like currently 17. And that's when I'm going to be so wham because I've decided to persist with this bulk for so long. And obviously knowing a lot more now, I probably would have done it that way. But I was okay with I was almost more inspired by the level of dedication it would have taken to be able to do that than anything else. But it's a huge transformation when someone goes into a gaining phase because it's not just the physical side. It's like being able to have that much food. We know how hard a bulk is consistently over time. And to be able to turn up every day, even when you probably don't feel too good in your skin because you're not shredded all the time. And understand underneath that there is a lot going on and still being motivated enough to train hard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can 100% resonate with that. And I think as well, when you know you're eating the food, there's that little bit more pressure in the gym as well for that weight to go up. Like I kind of frame it for myself and my clients. I'm like, if you're in a growth phase, 50% of your lifts in that session need to go up. If they don't, you've lost the match. And then when you're like deep into a diet, you want to be holding 50% of them. So you're trying to or you're always trying to progress when you're in that bulk, and if you don't, you can get a bit pissed off. I don't do it anymore, but I remember like getting off machines and being like, what the hell was that, and being quite angry, just because I didn't get like a rep up when I'm pushing like 5,000 calories. Whereas now I do chase a lot more connection, and I don't lift like some machines. I don't lift what I used to lift, but the connection is way better.
I think sometimes as well, like with progression as well, it's getting people to understand that there's lots of different levers of progression as well. And obviously, again, for us when we were young, Tommy, it was like, just get stronger. We're like, fuck it, right? Let's just get stronger. Let's just go in with that one variable. But now, like, progression is more so over a longer time horizon when it comes to strength, right? So it doesn't have to be every week, but it could be every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But actually, you're looking to look over the course of the next 6 months. Can we get a significant progression over the next 6 months? And progression can also be how much control you've got over the weight that you lifted the week prior. If it was a sloppy set last week, but it's actually a much more controlled set this week at the same weight, that is progression. And has the tempo changed? Have we actually got more time under tension? That is also a good variable for progression. Doesn't always have to be that increase in weight. So yeah, I do think that animalistic side of you should be getting stronger inside of a bulk is very important, because it drives people. It definitely keeps people motivated, doesn't it? Like, you know, I'm getting 4 plates on a bench press or something. Whereas sometimes it can be a little bit of a detriment, because they almost associate weight progression as the only thing that can cause muscle growth.
Yeah.
And actually, in reality, that's not the case. So it's that fine balance.
Keeping them variables in place. I always frame it, you've got the 3 points before progressive overload, and that is connection first and foremost. And not everyone connects with the same thing. I could do an incline press that feels insane. You do it at the exact same form, and it doesn't quite hit the same. So try something else. So connection, form, so your range of motion and your tempo. Then you've got your intensity. Once you've got all 3 of them, then you can progressively overload. But if you start losing one of them, then you need to forget about your progression and then get them nailed again. And I think that's why, like, I don't know if you guys find it's hard to get some clients to film their sets, but the people that do, the progression is on another level. And even if they just film it and just watch it back themselves, every other session, so I do, like this week I'm not filming, next week I'll film. And then every other week I'll film just one top set of each exercise, just have a quick look. And always there's at least like a couple in a session where like, that was a little bit too quick. That was even a little bit too slow. You could have done an extra rep there. And it's these little things that, like, it will just add up over time.
Yeah, I had a guy last week who literally sent me a video of him doing rows. And then the video was, he sent a video. He was like, hey mate, can you critique this video? Understand that my back position wasn't correct. My tempo was a little bit too fast. And actually I should probably hold the length and range out a little bit longer. And I was like, just hit the reply button, this. And that was my response. I'm like, cool.
You taught him well.
Hey?
You taught him well.
yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I said to him. I was like, how cool is it that you are now problem solving your exercises? This is a guy that like literally had no idea how to do like a row variation.
That's class. That's class.
To be able to get to the point where you can literally determine whether or not you're doing a good set or not. It's a pretty cool experience to see. Equally kind of made me feel a little bit redundant, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, well, I don't really know how to reply to this, just apart from repeating the same shit that you just sent me. But yeah, it's very cool. It's a very cool experience.
That's part of the process though, isn't it? Teaching it to people, not just like, right, here's your plan. Like you can get off ChatGPT. How and why am I doing this? And then they're more likely to go away and actually do it if they understand they're doing this because it's going to do this.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than people that are like, I'm just following what ChatGPT said, because fuck me. I don't know if Tommy, you've done it, but like remember when ChatGPT was like around to begin with? Yeah. And I remember downloading it, and on the PED side, I remember putting into ChatGPT, this is what I'm running right now. It lost its shit at me. It was like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, no, hang on a minute. What the fuck, dude? Inadvertently, for a guy that's been in it for a long time, I was there like, yo, okay, shit, like, fuck me. Am I going to die tomorrow? Like, what's going on? And ultimately, like, when you know when you know a lot more, it's like, actually, this is literally surface level shit. Like, it does not take anything into consideration. It will just ramp up all of, you know what Google's like, oh, by the way, I got a headache, you're having an aneurysm, call 999. It's just an amplified version of that, really.
Yeah, scary, because I get people in my DMs asking me about PEDs, and they've actually said, oh, I found this and this on ChatGPT. So I had a guy tell me, and he showed me a screenshot, and it said that oxys were the least toxic orals. And like, to me, they're probably like one of the worst ones. Well, definitely are from my experience anyway. Who knows?
Around?
Warn them off.
Dude, I think once I had a guy message me that he actually was running this cycle. He was on he basically put into ChatGPT that he suffered with acne, and that was the last time. His prompt was literally, last time I ran test, I suffered with acne. So what ChatGPT, and then he followed it with like, oh, by the way, I want to run test, mass, and trend. And ChatGPT was like, oh, because you've had a bad response to tests, we need androgen load to be higher, so we'll run 250 tests, 700 milligrams of trend, 400 milligrams of mass. I was like, brother, number one, you are going to be like the angriest guy in it, driving on the roads at like peak times. Dude, I hate your blood pressure, dude.
He's now got acne, but yet he's running people over.
Yeah. He's got acne and a criminal record by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's wild.
Might have been the guy that got into that fucking that car chase outside of our house the other night. Never know. I should have asked Maddie. But no, it's crazy to see what AI will do, man. You just need people with actual experience to know what they're doing, because that is just gonna point in the wrong direction. But going back on, because Tommy, I'm aware that obviously time difference and stuff, you need to get to bed soon. So
it's not too bad. I've actually got no clients in the morning, so it's pretty chill.
Oh, happy days, man. Happy days. I've been like Saturday going, fucking hell, dude, he's gonna be the most tired person in the world. All 125 kilos of tired Tommy tomorrow. So. But yeah, a couple more questions for you then that I feel like our audience would really benefit from. When you first started your journey in coaching, in bodybuilding yourself and building your physique up to where you are now, what was the biggest hurdle that you experienced in your journey?
I think it was knowing that the way I was still socializing and partying wasn't going to get me to my results. I remember a couple of people being like, if you stop going to Ibiza, you'll be pro. And at the time I was like, yeah, but I like Ibiza more. But you obviously grow out of that. That was probably the biggest hurdle to actually come away from that, but I kind of just grew out of that a bit anyway. So it was the biggest hurdle, but the biggest needle mover as well, I think. But like I said earlier, you still got to have that balance. So rather than going out all the time, it was like, right, if it's someone's birthday, if it's a good mate's birthday, I'll go out. If I go out for a dinner with Amber, I don't need to have an alcoholic drink to enjoy it. So it was, every session was on point because the weekend was good. The weekend was now actually being, I've always had Thursday and Sunday rest day. Sunday was actually a recovery day rather than being hanging out your ass and then forcing yourself to the gym on the Monday. I would say that I remember my first prep, I broke my toe a few weeks in. So it was like, that was a bit hard with cardio and stuff, but God bless BPC and TV 500. It was brand new within about 10 days.
And you grow another one. That's what Google told me.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I actually broke my foot on my second prep. And that was a lot worse at that time. Dropped a 20 plate from putting on an incline press. So yeah, same scenario, but again, the foot was brand new in like 3 weeks. So there's I wouldn't really say there's been that many hurdles, to be fair. I've been quite lucky with injuries apart from those. I think your first prep just teaches you a lot, doesn't it? Like, if you can get through that and you've done okay and you enjoyed it, that's a hurdle kind of in itself.
Out of curiosity, because of obviously your party background when you were younger, and obviously transitioning to pretty much the direct opposite now, like you still go out and have like a good time frequently, but obviously your culture was for many years anyway, the party scene. So I mean, a lot of your friends were, and I'm sure we're still doing that when you decided to take a step away. Did you find it was hard to be able to maintain those friendships whilst still taking a step away from that environment, or did you find that you could just maintain it and just not go out drinking? And was there a strong pull to going back to old habits?
Yeah, it's a good question. I do feel like my mates kind of slowed down a little bit as well, but there was definitely times where they were going out and I wasn't, and I did kind of have a little bit of FOMO, but I knew that where I was going, I kind of wanted that more. And like even now, like when the World Cup was on, like you see friends going out back home for a drink, and like I kind of miss that a little bit. But I could easily now just go there, have a good time, and not have a drink. Like, I've only drank once this year on my birthday. It was absolutely horrible. So yeah, I think as long as like anything, if you slowly pull away from things, like if I've got a client who wants to quit smoking, quit alcohol, quit vapes, you just slowly kind of monitor these things and slowly pull away, then it's not as much as a shock to the system. But I still, like, all of those friends that I used to go out with, I'm still very close with. Group chats for lads are a good thing, aren't they? Like, you can touch base, even though you're not seeing them, you kind of feel like you see them every day, just talking the crap that you might. And there's a lot of crap that gets talked, so you kind of have to ignore it and have it on mute and dip in and out. So yeah, still friends with all of them people, and I'll catch up with them all when I go back in a few weeks.
Nice. I've got a group chat called Team Red Stripe, because we all used to go out when we were younger and just drink Red Stripes.
Good old Red Stripes.
Oh, mate. And I think the last time I checked, there was something like 320 unread messages on that group, and I was like, "Oh fuck, dude! I'm just gonna have to wait till the next conversation and just jump in, because there's no way I'm catching up with that." But you are right. I think for me personally, from obviously working, from my experience of working with a lot of people, I think that's the biggest hurdle for a lot of people that they struggle with, is coming out of that friendship group that potentially are not aligning, or their decisions are not aligning with their goals, and then learning that them taking a step away doesn't have to mean that that friendship has to end. It just means the dynamic has to change. So having a harder conversation on those nights out, where, as Jake said earlier, me and Jake went to Jamie's stag do, and we were like, well, I had a client competing literally the next day, so I was like, I'm not fucking gonna go out drinking, because I need to be on my phone. And he'd like self-sabotage like a day before that as well. So I was like, oh fuck, here we go, like this is going to be a lot of management here. So I'm like glued to WhatsApp. But again, at the same time, me and Jake went out, and we still had a great time. We're still dancing, we're still out till like 3:30 in the morning. We're still there and present when all the silly stuff was going on that a stag do normally entails, and we weren't any different to who we were. But again, it's just, there were multiple conversations with Jamie's mates. We're like, oh, why don't you just have like one? And obviously that harder conversation of like, actually, no, I'm okay. Because it doesn't change how this night is going to go. I'd understand if you wanted me to drink if I was a completely different person, if I was really tired, sat in a corner doing nothing, but still going to get involved in all the same stuff. I don't need alcohol to be confident. I'm confident in myself, and that's okay. So it's understanding that, isn't it? And just actually taking the steps to say, like, I don't actually have to drink to be around you guys. I don't actually have to go and celebrate the World Cup by having about 18 pints of Red Stripe or whatever. But I can actually just choose just enjoy the World Cup with my mates. That's okay. And equally getting across to the people in the gym that doesn't mean you have to completely disassociate from your friendship group, because they're now no longer doing what you're doing as well. It's that balance, isn't it?
The good thing about that is that the more you say no, the more the people just like stop asking you, really. Like, I've had it with my partner's parents when we first started seeing each other, and I was obviously on plan now going into prep, and they're like, oh, have you got the same meal again? And it's like, Yeah, you've seen me for about 8 months now. It's not changing. And then eventually they just get to a point where they're like, oh yeah, Jake's gonna have his own food, or like, like, don't worry about cooking for him, or like he's not gonna have a drink, and it's quite nice. Eventually they do stop pestering you. So
definitely been there.
Yeah.
I think as well, like the whole drinking thing or anything that might make you underperform when you've got X amount of clients and you're performing high for yourself as well. Like I get scared now of not being at 100% 6 days a week because I will miss something. A client might not get something that they needed. Something might get missed. Everything has to be so aligned so I can switch off a little bit on a Saturday night and a Sunday. Otherwise, I'm chasing my tail. And so I went back to the UK for 2 nights about a month ago, and then went on a stag do for 3 nights. And my content was filmed 2 months ahead. All my content's filmed 2 months ahead now, 2 posts a day, and that is one of the biggest needle movers, I think, for not being like stressed, knowing that that's done. So just getting ahead of that, because I was dreading it, because I was very, very busy as well just before that. Lots of consultation calls. So I actually brought someone in who could take them whilst I was away, because otherwise I was literally just going to potentially lose clients. So it was doing like, even just getting them set up, that took me like 4 hours to be able to do that. But if I didn't do it, I would have been so stressed whilst I was away. So it's like, it's that constant, you need to be like performing high. It's like even sleep. Like I've got to get 6 hours, otherwise I am going to be flagging at some point, especially when I'm eating 850 carbs. So it's like, that's the way I frame it now. It's like, I can't afford to do that. Not because I've got the freedom, I can do it, but I don't want to. I get the buzz more knowing that I've done everything in my business that I want to get done because I love it so much, rather than like going out and having a drink.
Yeah, that resonates with us massively, dude. Like we're consistently like that on our end too. It's hard to explain to people that don't live it, because maybe their
parents don't understand it. It's hard to explain to parents.
Massively, but also a lot of people don't really do the jobs they're really passionate about. They're doing their jobs to pay the bills. So getting someone to understand that, yes, although this does pay the bills, I also just really, really enjoy it. And if I'm not 100% of what I know I could be, that would kill me. And I've been in situations before, man, where I've had like guys come in the gym who haven't paid their gym membership for like 6 months, and I haven't noticed because I haven't like checked or something. I've gone, holy shit, and I've caught up with that person. It's been one guy that was like, listen, bro, like, I'm gonna be honest, my ex-partner got my bank details, I don't have the money right now. And I was there like, dude, wipe it, don't worry about it, I'm not that bothered, it's fine, just sort out your membership for next month and we'll just move on from there, and we're going to chase you for that 6 months, right? And you will go above and beyond to literally, for me, even my partner gets annoyed because I'll regularly have phone calls and someone might be going through something and I'll be there like, oh yeah, just take the month, don't worry about it. And she'll be like, Lewis, stop giving away stuff because it's your time and like, you need to get paid for the work that you do because you work really hard. But I'm like, no, I just genuinely want to keep them moving forwards, and me not working with them that month would ruin me, even if they jumped on the month after, because I'm like, well, what happened last month? I don't know. I haven't been on top of it. So like, Jake will vouch for this. I'll stay up till like 3 or 4 a.m. on a Saturday, which is my busiest day for check-ins, just to get everything done. And then on Sunday, I'll be tired, but I'll be like, yeah, fuck it, dude. All my clients are smashing it, as opposed to waking up on a Sunday being like, well, I'm late. I've got to chase my tail. And it's a hard thing for people to understand if you're doing a job that just pays the bills. If you're passionate about something, you're willing to do that. You're willing to sacrifice those things that are not going to allow you to be able to perform at that level.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just on that, like, I've had people where they come to the end of their cut and they want to stop, and I've actually coached them for free for at least 6 weeks of the reverse, because I know they're just going to fuck it completely. It's hard to like let some people go. Like, you do get quite attached and you build a good relationship and stuff. And I was even more so with you guys in the gym, and you're actually seeing them in person a lot more. Like the guy that I train a guy in my building here, 6 a.m. 5 days a week. We're best friends within like 4 or 5 months. We just like really get on, and he's very interested in like everything that I do, and so vice versa. Like he's got a marketing business and stuff. So yeah, you do become
quite useful for you as well. I'm not gonna lie. If you use that marketing as well, then you could like obviously benefit from that too.
Yeah, that's the good thing in Dubai. Like everyone you speak to has got like a connection or a link. Like the first day I got here, I posted somewhere, and I think I was at the Palm, and I tagged where I was, and then the guy messaged me in the evening. Do you know the guy who does the videos with the mop, the cleaner?
Yeah. Yeah.
They literally messaged me and was like, "Do you want to come down and do a video tomorrow? And you get 200 quid." I was in Durham. I was there for 10 minutes. Like, sound. I was like, "Oh, this is what Dubai's like."
You?
Yeah, I don't even know if they ever posted it, mate. It's a conveyor belt. They have about 30 guys there every day. They get like 30 or 40 big guys there. You got to pretend that. Well, to be fair, the weight he's lifting is actually fucking heavy. I could barely deadlift it, and he done it one-handed. And that mop is heavy as well. So you just act like you're training, and he comes over, and you're like, "Mate, you're not going to lift that up or whatever." But yeah, that was like crazy. Yeah, there's some quite wild opportunities here.
Has this just been the biggest exposing fucking?
Yeah, you're gonna. Did you not sign an what do they call it? An NDA or like do not discuss or something?
Non-disclosure agreement.
There you go.
No, there's nothing. There's some wild stuff you see out here, that's for sure.
Lewis
PEDs get delivered to your door, pay by card.
Oh my God. That's mad. That is mad. That's crazy. Yeah, man. It's it is a crazy thing to think about.
You have to come out, do a week trip. We can train.
Dude, literally, I've got a client that's competing in Dubai. My DM set is in Dubai, and I have a client that's competing in WMBF in Dubai, doing an amateur show.
Nice.
Bro, the fucking show entries in your fucking country, dude. What the fuck? It was like 285 quid.
What, just for audience?
No. For him to compete without the membership. So, like, Two Bros is like, Two Bros is classified as expensive here. It's what, like £100 membership, and then about like £150 a category or something. It's 285 quid for a category and about 150 quid for a membership.
And what show is it?
It's he just sent it to me the other day, actually, literally 2 days ago. I'll pull it up. Hang on.
Is it in October?
Yes. It is. Hang on. It is the Golf Super Pro.
Okay.
UAE.
Yeah.
No, it's not October.
I've heard of that one. September. Good time to come and cool down a little bit. Yeah, man. I do you know what, bro? Like, ever since when I was working with Obi and I flew to Milan with Obi, one of the fucking coolest experiences ever to take a client out to go compete in a different country. Honestly, so cool. Yeah, but that's sick.
Massively fucking eye-opening experience though, because that was it was an amateur Olympia, and it was the last pro qualifier, and obviously everybody just went for it. Yeah, so we had this it was a huge venue, but there were like, I would say maybe close to about 250 men's physique athletes out there. And they were all stuck in this hall, bro. And they like, you were talking like arm to arm. Like we went outside and doing like, there's not enough room in there. And again, Obi's big, dude. I mean, in off season, he's 295 pounds.
And
how
tall is he?
He's 6'1".
Fuck me, that's big for 6'1". Yeah, that makes me feel very small.
Bro, dude, honestly, if you ever see him, we went to Thorpe Park together, yeah, and it was a funny experience ever. I walked around the corner. I don't know, have you been to Thorpe Park since the new rides there, like Heraclean or something?
I've not been for a good 10 years, I reckon.
Okay, well they've got a new ride there, right? It's bigger than Stealth, yeah, also they say. And the way you get on the ride is there's like go up this sort of staircase, and you take a sharp right turn, and you get straight into the cart. Obviously, takes you on the ride. So the guy doesn't really see you until you walk around the corner. So I'm there, and I walk around the corner after Maddie, and he goes, "Fucking hell, you're big." He goes, you go to the gym a lot? I'm like, yeah. So he like gets me in the seat. And then he's talking to me about my gym journey. He's like, yeah, man, like I haven't seen someone that big before in a while. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And Obi walks around the corner, and he's like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, that's my mate Obi. And I'm not even joking, bro. You know when you do rides and you panic anyway, because we've all seen Final Destination and we've all seen those things go wrong. When he was getting Obi into his seat, the guy, and I shit you not, was literally jumping up and down to try and get this thing to lock. And I'm like, there's no way from a health and safety perspective that this is allowed to happen. But no, he's a big guy. But anyway, going back to the main point of the story, we were in there, and Obi came, I think, like 6th out of 14. And then again, to reinforce what you said, they rewarded the smaller guys, actually, which even though as his coach I was disheartened that it had the outcome, because he just won PCA, he was winning shows everywhere. I think it was quite nice to see that men's physique is pulling away a little bit from classic bodybuilders in board shorts and more towards us, for sure. Because at one point it was going in the opposite direction. It's kind of like, well, men's physique was never meant to be that. It was meant to be something else.
So it's Chiron, isn't it? Like, he looks insane, but is it too big? I think they are rewarding the taller guys again a little bit more this year. But if you've got that very, very tight waist still and the ratios there, but it changes all the time, doesn't it? It's kind of frustrating to know
it's
what
nice
to do. I think
Ryan Terry with the Olympia win, because I think that should be the gold standard. I mean, that guy's physique is incredible, very complete.
100%. Yeah. He's a lot bigger this year and holding the food a lot higher for like longer period going in. So be interesting to see if he still does that and comes in as conditioned, like on the midsection still. But yeah, Chiron's scary, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And from your perspective as well, because you mentioned it before we started the podcast, you're now working with Ryan Terry, right?
Yeah, so I've been working for Ryan Terry. Launched a sort of coach business called Olympia Standard. So he's actually launched the business with my mentor, Charlie. So that's kind of how Charlie basically asked me and another coach that he works with and said, right, I think you'll be a perfect fit if you want to do some coaching for Ryan's brand. So I've got about 15 clients with Ryan now. So it's really, really good. It's been in that network. I kind of coach them how I would coach them and sort of had touch base with Ryan before, and everything kind of like aligns. We've actually kind of worked fairly similar anyway. So we're doing a photo shoot in December as well at Ryan's gym. So that'll be quite cool. Sorry, say that again, mate.
Is that more because it's called Olympia Standard? Is that still lifestyle, or is it more towards men's physique?
So out of the 15, 14 of them are lifestyle. The other lads got a couple that I think want to compete. There's a couple of people, like the guy I've got, I'm reversing him out. So he left his other coach, I'm reversing him out from a show. So he's got a hell of a lot of lifestyle people. I think Gymshark My Protein, that is kind of a bit more lifestyle, isn't it, than your Hostiles and brands like that. So Ryan has got a big... And the way Ryan looks as well, it's not that much bodybuildery. So people would strive to look like that as a lifestyle client. Not obviously they're not going to get there, but rather than like, right, I want to look like Ronnie. So there's a hell of a lot of lifestyle people in there, and it's people all over the world. People in Asia, America, Australia, UK. So it's quite cool to be sort of coaching a sort of different type of people from around the world, some older guys as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And Ryan, like when I did a photo shoot in Ryan's place, I'm like, I'm gonna say, look, I'm only gonna come, mate, if you pose next to me.
You're like messaging your coach, being like, listen, I know we're in our off season, but we need a hard deficit right now.
Literally.
No, that's incredible, man. It's got me. I'm so happy to see you doing well, bro. Because I mean, like, I even said to Jake, like, the other day we were having like a staff meeting, and I literally just want to see the people that are doing what I do well. And it's awesome to see
100%.
where you've gone from when I met you at Castle Place to where you are now. Just in your physique alone is fucking incredible. But at least, alongside that, in this industry as well, the fact that you're working with the current men's physique Mr. Olympia is fucking awesome, dude. You should be very proud.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, like how quick things move.
Yeah, man.
I think that's another thing. Like moving to Dubai, like that probably wouldn't have happened if I wasn't here as well. So it's little things like that for sure. But there's that's you can't help but want other coaches to do well. Like anyone who's up and coming, fitness is one of the biggest growing businesses in the world. There's enough clients for everyone. There's some people that try and pinch clients, which I don't agree with, but other than that, there's plenty to go around. Everyone should want each other to do well, and at the end of the day, we're all trying to help people. So,
yeah, man, yeah, absolutely. And I think going back to what you said about clients, other coaches trying to pinch clients, I think that says a lot more about the coach than it does about the client if they choose to go. Because for me personally, you're kind of defeating the whole being a person side of coaching. Like for me, I'm like, okay, cool. If you're on board with me, you've made the choice to be on board with me, I'm going to invest a lot of my time in you. And if someone is like, and we're all aware of that, good coaches are aware of that, right? That, having those negative voices when you're in the depths of a prep or in the depths of a cut, whether it be a lifestyle or a prep client, isn't going to help the client. And the person reaching out is just concerned about numbers on his board for his coaching clients. That's what he's doing. So actually, they're probably going to be not as invested in you as a person to begin with. And they are specifically business minded. They are not thinking about you as a person. They just want that you as a number. You are a figure and you are paying their bills. Whereas for me and you and Jake as well, I'm like, the last thing I want to do, I went to a show literally with Tracy and Chris's show. There was a guy that was out back and his coach didn't turn up for his show. And Chris was like, there's a guy out back and his coach didn't turn up nor send him anything for his show day.
Oh, shit.
So I went out back and I found the guy and I was like, yo, dude, are you, like, I heard that your coach didn't show up today. You all right? And he was like, oh, mate, I haven't heard anything from him from like since 6 p.m. yesterday. And I'm like, oh shit. God. So I DM'd him and I said, look, man, like, I don't want to coach you because I don't believe in pinching coaching clients anyway. But if you need any help, I'm happy to help out. But I don't want you to be with me as a coaching client unless like that relationship has ended cleanly first. But I'll happily help you out if you just need a bit of advice of how to like water load and water manipulate or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
even the reverse.
Yeah.
That's so important, isn't it? Off the stage.
100%. But I think this guy was planning to go the week after as well. And I was like, if your coach isn't responding, he'll probably respond after your show. And I'm sure there's probably a very good reason why he wasn't responding. If you've got a good relationship with him, there's probably some emergency or something. But if it happens again, like, no, I'm here. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy to just give you a bit of guidance and just help you with that last like day or something. But other than that, I wouldn't ever like go to a show and actively look to talk to people's clients and be like, look, you should be with me, fuck your coach. It's again a bit like the World Cup, for example. Jake responded to a video that another coach in Trowbridge made saying like, I think it's very easy for other professional football players, ex-professional football players, to say what they would have changed on the day of the game to have a different outcome. And I think it's very easy to give information to people that maybe haven't got the outcome that they wanted, because we all want that first place, right? It's very easy to jump in then and be there like, oh yeah, if you were up there with me, you would have won. Yeah. And it's like, no, actually,
I would have made you fuller.
Yeah, it would have made you fuller, or I would be way bigger, or like, whatever. It's just like, you're just speaking off fucking speculation. Like there's no, if I went to school and did physics, I could be a fucking astronaut. Like, like at the end of the day, who knows? Like we don't know what the outcome would have been, but at the same time, just let the coach do their thing,
Yeah, it's like the same thing when coach comes out and like, rather than just like congratulating how well their client done, it's like, oh yeah, 3rd place today out of 5, but it's stacked lineup. It's like you just always hear stack. It's like, just focus on congratulating the client and how well they've done. It's a funny old game. I had it think it's about 6 months or so ago now. I had a few clients message me, screenshot, and it's the same coach message them. So they've definitely been through probably like my following or my transformations, maybe. It's people who I posted who've got results. It's like, that's the worst thing you could do. You've seen they've got a good result and then you're still trying to poach them.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
no, it's mad,
desperate times.
To be fair with you, if that ever happens from me, Tommy, right? I've got a DM setter in Dubai who is just messaging my follower list. Okay, so don't take
Yeah,
it
mate,
personally.
I've got the same. Don't worry. It's all got to be done this day and age.
If any of your clients ever get a message from me, I will message Chelsea and tell her to back off. All right?
Yeah. Mine knows like, don't message women, don't message coaches, don't message people who look like they've got a coach, don't message bodybuilders.
Yeah. It's incredible. Well, Tommy, we'll leave it there for today, man, because it's going to get late for you, and obviously we've got to shoot off. I've still got a few client check-ins to do as well. So I'll, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and it'd be great to maybe when you get back, get you in the gym and film like a in-person podcast. We'll shut the gym down on like a weekend or something, and we could just set up some chairs, get the cameras out, and get some have another chat. Really, talk about mindset, all of that, and business and things like that. Would be really cool.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's go on, mate.
I just want to bump in quickly and just say again, as like an upcoming coach, it is very inspiring hearing your guys' story, and just seeing, you know, like how far both of you have come, and, you know, obviously Tommy, you're out in Dubai, like just fucking doing well, and I see Lewis doing well. So yeah, from my perspective, my point of view, I have appreciated this episode a lot and taken on a lot, even though it might have just seemed that I'm just sat here listening. Like, I have taken notes, and I have I've taken a lot of this stuff on board.
Got your fathom note taker on.
yeah. So I've appreciated this episode quite a lot. So yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know that.
That's good to know, mate. Good to know.
We're
definitely sorting that on my back. Go on.
Oh, sorry, bro. One little funny thing on that. Me and Mad sat down and had like a business conversation the other day about just like business and shit like that, and our relationship and stuff. And I had Otter note taker on. I was like, I'll be really cool to have this on. It will just give us some note. And at the end, it gave me loads of things that I needed to change, and I'm there like, wait a minute, is it telling me that I'm the problem? Oh, hold on a minute, what the fuck? No, delete.
Did you show her it?
Yeah. She read the first bit. I was like, close the laptop. Nah, don't worry about it. No rubbish.
It's brilliant.
Nah, but
it's scary, some of the stuff you can do now.
I know, but mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I know Jake has got a lot of value. I've got a lot of value from it, and I'm sure a lot of our members will get a lot of value from it as well. So thank you so much for being here, mate. And we'll touch base when you're back, and we'll get a session in. Come down to Tribe, man. We'll film a video together as well. Be cool.
Definitely.
And then get more content in the future. Yeah, and I'll come out to the
bar. Spot on, mate. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Definitely let me know when booking stuff up for that show, where I'll get a session, and I'll come to the show as well, because there's not enough of that going on. The main one's been cancelled apparently.
Really?
Dubai, is it called Muscle Contest or something like that? Like where they do the pro show and that, because there's just not going to be enough people traveling, they think. But I don't know. It's in October. It's still a while away. I don't think it's confirmed.
Normally get quite a few people across for that as well, don't they?
Yeah, it's a busy. I think it's the fourth. Apart from Olympia, Arnold, and then like New York Pro Pittsburgh, I think it's like the fifth or sixth biggest show. So yeah,
mental.
Sweet. All right, guys.
I'll let you know when we do book stuff. But thank you, Tommy. I really appreciate it, and I'll speak to you soon, bro. Okay.
No worries. See you later, guys. Take care.